YCW go and they get another one.
McDonald on the way, on the boundary line. Oh, stop it, Shane McDonald.
A free kick. Joe Fisher out of the air, it's a goal. So Bonbeach hit the front. He's out.
They go towards half foot. Is an opportunity for Painter. He goes long. He's kicked the goal. He's kicked it.
As YCW enter the field, what do Bonbeach have to do to win this game today?
Yeah, forcing the ball forward. I mean, we've seen the difference in both sides, in both games that we've seen already. AJ has been the teams that have been able to move the ball efficiently from forward centre to deep inside 50 and create chances. So for Bonbeach, that rests on the likes of Sam Gilbert and Shane McDonald. Their ability to get the ball in the forward half and lock the ball in and create good scoring chances are going to get the job done today. So if Bonbeach are going to win the game, it's going to have to be through the creativity of those two guys and, of course, a full performance from all 22 players on the day.
Bossy, the YCW have just come over here just to say hello to you. They know you're sitting up here.
And none of the other games were coming anywhere near us, Fossey, before you rocked up. So
No, they're a powerful club, YCW. They haven't won one for a while, but I'll tell you what, Dylan, they on grand final day, they get to grand final day, they don't lose as a rule. And it's been a while since they've lost a grand final. So I think they won 7 out of 8. They're from going from like 2010 to 2017. The only one they lost was the Mpnfl one in 2013 when they lost the preliminary final in extra time to the eventual premiers. But as long as they get to the grand final, they just know how to win them.
And we know what's transpired this year. Just the 2 losses. There's another strike of lightning as soon as I look to the field.
Never thought we'd see that today. Wow.
Thunder too.
So we've had some reasonably decent conditions given the rainfall that we've had throughout the day, and yeah, this is starting to get concerning.
The poor lady down here has absolutely packed it.
For sure, yeah.
When the thunder...
Yeah, it's not what we want, and we need everyone safe, of course.
Well, apparently there was an earthquake off Frankston this morning.
About 5:40 a.m, and let me tell you, it was that powerful, I didn't notice. At the top of the pines where I am, didn't feel a thing.
Daz just went over in bed and just let one rip.
Oh, Bossy.
I didn't have that on my grand final bingo card, let me tell you.
Okay, Daz, question.
Yes, Bossy.
You're the man with all the information up there. Now, with regards to what you said about the lightning,
yes.
What are we going to see? Like, how late potentially, if we do have a delay, have we got to start by a particular time?
I'm not sure about a particular time, Bossy. What the interesting thing is going to be, and we've spoken to Hayden O'Connor a few times throughout the finals, that would be an admin disaster for him if there is a delay, but I don't think we have a set time that the game needs to start by. The interesting question becomes is if it can't be played today, what happens from there? Because as simple as it would be to just get back here next week, it might be trouble.
Yeah. The caterers will make a fortune.
Who would have thought? Bossy's thinking about food. But Bonbeach's banner there reading, "We're ready for a shark attack. Go get 'em, boys. It's shark time." And I would have thought you'd come up with a better rhyme than that all week. So not the start that Bonbeach are looking for as they enter the playing field.
See how Casey pulls up out of this warm-up, Bossy.
Well, I watched him, Dylan, before, as I said, for a good 6 or 7 minutes, and he did not look good at all. Like, he's walking along, and instead of walking, I'm trying to demonstrate this to Dylan listeners, so if you're watching the stream, you can see it. If you can't, well, bad luck, just take my word for it. He's walking along, but he's actually walking spoil-footed. So, to me, he doesn't look right. And this ground will find you out.
David Armitage with heavy strapping as well, of course. Some MCL worries through the week. Another strike of lightning, yes.
So during the season, we saw round 18 in Division 2. We saw Langwarrin and Tyabb abandoned before the ball was bounced, and we saw Dane was due to no later than 3. Was it 3 or was it a half? No, they might have come back and then they might have tried again. And if they
half an hour after the lightning strike, they had to wait on.
Well,
if there wasn't another one, but I think it just struck, just before that.
to me,
Radar not looking at it.
it's not looking good, and that lightning it just seems to be getting a bit louder, boys.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if lightning makes a whole lot of noise, Bossy. I reckon that might be thunder.
Well, that too, Dad.
Between you and I,
Oh, it's been a long season, Vossi.
the good news, if there is
I
such good
deserve
news, if there is such good news with lightning, is the fact that it is moving. So same spot usually tells you it might be getting closer, but the
How
three
fast?
lightning strikes have all moved more and more left,
Yes. Of
which
course,
is a positive.
The only thing is this game, of course, doesn't hold the same negligence as Langwarren v Tyab, and the next issue, as you mentioned, is if it is rescheduled, when to? Can't be next week.
And if they can't reschedule it, do YCW win the flag because they were on top?
It can't be next week because Friday I've got Harrison's second birthday, and then Saturday it's actually his actual birthday, so I think I'd be shot.
Yeah, and Sunday I don't know if I'm going to be in fantastic condition to call.
Might have a Monday grand final. Reschedule it to tomorrow. Don't think you could do that.
You could play it on Thursday. There's not much happening on Thursday. Oh, hang on, no, there is actually. So there is.
Bossie's throwing shade. Queen. That's where we're at on grand final day. He's in loose form, Bossy. This could get, if we've got a delay in game, this could get real interesting.
Of course, people are going to have to bring their own lunches to the AFL Grand Final next week because there's no pies.
He's in ripping form, Bossy. He's at his best. I'm worried if he's peaked early, let's be honest.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Avoiding all this, Daz, from the last game when I mentioned.
Yeah, Dylan's caught nothing.
I wouldn't bring it up,
I wouldn't be reminding us either, by the way. That's fraught with danger. Of course, the Swannies held on in a fantastic win. We've just had another lightning strike, still moving to the left.
In all seriousness, though, that game last night, I wouldn't. 15 minutes to go, I would never have thought that was going to end up the way it did last night.
Yeah, well, when you look at it in hindsight, that Nathan Kruger shot at goal.
Yes,
really
yeah,
did
it was huge.
cost
But
them this.
I'll give some optimism to the Swannies. Since 2015, 15 premiers had the closer prelim final. So the last time a team had a closer grand final and lost, I believe, was 2015 when West Coast defeated North by 25 points. Hawthorn defeated Freo by 27 in that prelim, so not a huge difference there, but something for the Swannies. They'll be battle-hardened for next Saturday afternoon.
In 2007, Geelong won a close preliminary final against Collingwood only by 3 or 4 points. It was under a goal, and Port Adelaide beat North Melbourne by truckloads, and look what happened in the grand final. Geelong won by truckloads.
It was Hawks fans, Vossi. We saw in 13 and 14 close prelims against Geelong and Port, and did the thing on grand final day. So I say this because I'm not buying into the fact that it's Geelong by how far. It's going to be a ripping game, as we're hoping this one is, that starts on time. Starting to clear up a little bit, boys, coming in from the right-hand side. So we're...
See, Daz, I still, and credit to Collingwood, of course, they were expected to win the wooden spoon and they almost made it through to the grand final. I almost enter this week seeing Sydney as favourites.
Favourites, that's a big call. That is a huge call, but...
Dylan, remember how you said you haven't had anything thrown at you yet today? I think you've just opened yourself up.
That game, Daz, last night actually reminded me, I said to someone last night, that actually reminded me of the Hawthorn Port Adelaide finish in 2014. Hawthorn were about 5 goals in front with 7 minutes to go, and almost got overrun. So it reminded me of that game.
Yeah, Angus Monfries had a chance late. It didn't go his way. Hodges tackle on Jonas, of course.
And I think Andrew Moore had a shot as well, from memory.
He did, yeah.
And then he went to Box Hill and repaid the faith by missing a point in a key final. So, bit of karma from Morey there, passing it on. But
catching some strays.
Is anyone tipping Bonbeach in this grand final, boys?
No.
Dylan's just nodded, said, yeah, lost. Guaranteed.
Okay.
My goodness.
Not to that extent.
What a confidence.
As long as it's a competitive grand final, it doesn't really faze me, does?
Might have a future in politics, our man. He's giving us answers that aren't actually answers.
Maybe he's just found a nickname. We might call him Dan from now on, not Dylan. Going to get underway as per normal.
It has got a little bit brighter.
It certainly has. Crowd just starting to fill out, Vossi.
Of course, we haven't talked about, boys, the second semi-final between these two sides that have led to this moment. Vossi, you'll remember Joe Fisher kicked the goal with about 40 seconds left. Byron Barry, the veteran, just let the ball go in a tackle. The umpire was blindsided. Christian Champus got a free kick for too high. Found Luke Painter from 50. And he went bang and sent them through to the grand final. So Bonbeach, AJ, will have some confidence that they'll be in this game right up in their eyeballs.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll go in very confident. However, I think the fact is that when you go in with some underdone players or people carrying injuries into the big day, and we've seen it here at Frankston at Skybus Stadium a number of times, Vossi, that it usually doesn't go to plan.
No, well, look at the example last week, the Donkdale Alanis and Cal Dixon last week in particular, carrying injuries into the game. Jackson Tasty today, Bailey Schmidt's been ruled out with injury, so for YCW, yeah, you need everyone to do their part this afternoon, and let's just see how Bonbeach go about this, because we saw Coringal start poorly last week. Bonbeach have got to hit that ground running early, and interesting to see what they do with Sam Gilbert, boys. Now, I'm not sure what they did with him last week in terms of the preliminary final, because I wasn't there.
Big-bodied mid, Vossi.
But they need him they need to position him right, and they need to get him in the game early.
Yeah, they do, and we've noted in the last few weeks that when both the Hewlett boys are in the ruck, they're a far better side. When Gilbert is in the ruck, he doesn't want to compete in that, and he wants to be the fourth midfielder. So let him be the mid that he wants to be, and let Owen and Liam Hewlett do the ruck work against Barrett today. Obviously, news that Bailey Schmidt not playing. It's a broken foot, I think it is. So
and the umpires have confirmed starting on time as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, not sure what we're all worried about. Beautiful sunshine here at Frankston.
Yeah, it's only thunder and lightning.
We're all good.
In the distance, blue skies.
Yeah, a couple of bits of blue.
It's definitely cleared up in the last 10 minutes.
And we've been spoiled, AJ, with two fantastic games leading in that were at half-time of both games well and truly on. YCW put the foot down in the reserves, and Mount Eliza did in the third quarter of their game as well and hung on. So
absolutely.
What do we make of the crowd, boys?
The premiership quarter is key. Love the crowd today, Vossi. They've been loud.
It's not the biggest crowd I've seen here, Vossi, but I'm sure there's still people inside. But we're going to head over to the pre-game function or the national anthem, Vossi. Maybe ceremony. We can get you to get up and sing it.
Be better than the bloke that sang last Saturday night, Collingwood and Fremantle.
Goes whack again.
Vossi's just throwing darts.
Welcome here to Frankston Oval for the 2022 Mpnfl Grand Final for the Division 1 Seniors. I would firstly like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. We pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. We ask that all patrons please stand if you are able to join the players, officials and umpires for the Australian National Anthem.
for 3 years, boys, and isn't it music to the ears to actually hear a crowd on grand final day, and we're about to call a grand final. Fantastic to see, isn't it?
It brings music to my and tears to my ears and things like that.
Brings tears to your ears, doesn't it?
And I just said everything.
That's worse than my call about the Lightning before.
Well, it's been a long day for AJ.
It has.
Let's be honest.
It really has. But what I was trying to say is, Vossi, you remember to get the mics on before you speak, mate. They want to hear you. They want to hear your dulcet tones.
I want to hear your drive-bys. You've got more than Tupac at the moment, Vossi.
The greatest decision the AFL made was getting Delta Goodrum out singing the national anthem last week.
We're going to go down to Pete Susevich on the ground. Unfortunately, we can't hear Sus down there, but
Bonbeach kicking to the left, boys, so I'll have the favourable conditions first, given the history of the two grand finals so far.
Certainly has. The wind looks like it may have swung around a bit, though, Daz.
Look, mate, I can only report on what I know.
The flags are certainly pushing down towards the Nepean Highway end.
Of course, both teams that kicked to the left in the first quarters have won so far, so nice little, hopefully, repetition for Bonbeach's case there.
So this is going to be brought to you by Bendigo Bank this afternoon, also Premier Traditional Homes. As the crowd are getting
a bit rowdy.
Very excited now just before the start of this Division 1 Seniors Grand Final.
Might see the Mexican wave soon, AJ.
I've seen in all three games as well, the Stone Cats have been really late in sort of dispersing from their huddle. A couple of players are still going through some bumps for some reason, but yeah, they're really drumming home the message, I think, of just how important this is, what they need to do. Reinforce the messaging, of course, with Bailey Schmidt out. The two men that are loving that, AJ, would be the Hewlett brothers.
Absolutely, although when we saw Frankston, YCW and Sorrento play, Zach Barrett was almost the best on ground in that game, so it's a fair replacement. So we're not too far away from a start here in the Division 1 Mpnfl Grand Final.
We talked about captain starting on the bench in that pit team of the year with Blake Peach. Kev Lilac starting on the bench. He's the captain.
He is. He certainly is.
Interesting. Of course, Joel Selwood starting on the bench for the Cats in the prelim final. In, I think,
a little overhyped, I think. As the ball's held aloft to start Division 1 Grand Final. And we're underway. Big leap by Liam Hewlett. Jimmy Cahill comes off the line. Barrett gets a quick kick early. Cahill once again. YCW go inside forward 50. Wallace was behind. Stenning goes out and he finds Calvin Lee. Goes further afield looking for a target, but Luca Goonan comes across. Liam Hewlett throws his body around. We're going to get a throw in nice and early here.
Luca Goonan, one of the best for YCW in the second semi-final, had 21 touches and had 3 clearances in the last quarter.
Ball thrown in. Rucks do battle. Jackson Casey starting in the midfield. If you're just tuning in, under injury cloud. Luca Goonan with a high up and under. Pachulo standing under it. Players converge on this. Big tackle by Waterston. And that's got to be holding the footy, so it's hot early. Bonbeach certainly on Armitage. Is out this commentary side by himself. Would have been a bit risky coming across, but it's going to be played down the Brian Mace grandstand side. It's on the centre wing, and we're going to have a ball up.
So it's been hot in the first minute of the grand final for season 2022. Both sides still yet to score. Both sides going in very, very hard, trying to get the early advantage. Who's it going to be this afternoon? Another ball up to take place. Just the attacking side of centre wing here for Bonbeach. They are going to the car straight into the ground in the opening quarter as once again the ruckmen go up. Ball goes to ground. McDonald was in there, the ball comes out, and the player tackled there on that occasion for Bonbeach, and the umpire says I'm going to ball it up once again.
Doesn't look like we're going to get a high-scoring game, boys. The 2 games previous, 116 and 125 points.
So Mitch Tent was the man tackled there for Bonbeach. And, well, if Jackson Casey wants to get through today, then he's going to have a lot of hits on his body, you would have thought, this afternoon, boys. There's a kick off the ground towards half forward. It's picked up, though, for Bonbeach on this occasion by Standing It Was. He was tackled, and the umpire says ball it up. Travel 2 minutes in the grand final, and YCW and Bonbeach both yet to score.
Ball up, centre half forward, YCW. Slung around in the tackle. Bonbeach in defence. Armitage over to Gilbert, who tries to ward off the effort of his opponents but can't to good effect. What a tackle. Lachlan Wallace, he'll be rewarded for it. So he's 60 out. He's called to come back, and now he releases into the 50 and finds a target.
Just kicked it to space, didn't he? I don't blame Sam Gilbert for wanting to create across half back, but the Stonecats' pressure was too much, and then the kick to advantage was fantastic, and this would be a fantastic start for the team that went 16-2 throughout the home and away season.
So McLean's gone to Pachulo. Waterston has gone to Troutbeck as well.
Well, this would be the ideal start for YCW. Over 3 minutes into this opening quarter. It's been an arm wrestle. Bonbeach yet to really attack up forward, and YCW aren't on the board. Well, they are, but it's a minor score. The first of the day, Sean Corrigan to take it from fullback.
24 touches last week, couple of the best defensive efforts you've ever seen from a defender. Unreal final series, very good year.
So a thorough assessment of what was ahead and tried to execute. It sailed back inboard. Armitage takes it away. Sizzles one further down the line. Bonbeach have the numbers, but it eludes Fisher and escapes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in about 70 out from Bonbeach's goal.
Went the barrel.
Certainly did. Armitage just got his hands on the footy early. Ball thrown high back in. Rucks do battle. Goes the way of YCW. Looking for LaFontaine to run onto it. Quick kick by Lambert going forward. Looking for Butlin. Douglas has got the job on him early. It goes out and we'll get a throw in.
Shane McDonald just coming up to the wing now, so not going into stoppages in the defensive half. Best way to use him, I think. And when Bonbeach take territory, expect him to be around the footy.
So Lambert in the ruck. Mullane. He's tackled immediately. He's dispossessed, and that is holding the footy.
Even the best.
Absolutely.
Which Blake Mullane has proven he is for 2022, of course. Get nervous, and he was very slow getting rid of that one and paid the price. Mark taken by Bo Bailey at half back here for Bonbeach.
What a final series he's had. 2 games of 26 and a game of 24 disposals on the wing.
The man with the party going on at the back, got that mullet growing there. Perennial ball winner is Bo Bailey. The ball right below us. Ball over the line for a boundary throw-in. That kick before from Armitage, he had 2 men out, and if he got it to them, he's a better kick than that. So it was a poor kick by him. Otherwise, Bonbeach were away. But as it is, it's a boundary throw-in. Picked up by Mullane. Then he dropped the ball. Blake Mullane, he hasn't handled that ball at all well so far. There's a couple of times he's had it. Now picked up at a quick kick out there on this occasion by Mac Hura it was, but it's taken for Bonbeach and a high kick. Comes back towards half forward. Byron Barry has to play the role of defender there, and he did it well. He got the hand pass out. Good tackle applied on Goonan, or was it? No, said the umpire. It was a free kick.
It was a good tackle.
And Luke Goonan will take the free kick at half back.
YCW moving up the wing. It just slipped through the fingertips of the elected target, but he's able to make amends up to half forward, a one-on-one. Strong punch out of the air by Matthew Douglas, and he puts it out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
They're just looking that 5% better at the moment, YCW. It might not reflect on the scoreboard, but they look like they're only a contest or 2 away from getting a couple on the board and getting off to a red-hot start.
50 out from goal. In the ruck, big fly and big punch forward by Brenton Lambert, almost to the advantage of LaFontaine, who had to gather. His opponents did instead. Strong tackle that is still in harm's way for Bonbeach. Verma withstands a couple, tosses it up high. It'll be on its way back. Zach Barrett, who's come in for Bailey Schmidt, takes the mark. Looks forward, directs one to half forward. Dropped mark right down to the stomach of LaFontaine. Tapped it along the ground. Another torpedo forward from Angwin into the pocket. Almost out of bounds on the full, but Nick Waterstone touched it out.
Bossie's man, Wet Rock. It's been good down back in the final series, Vossie.
That's very much so.
Ball thrown back in, deep inside the forward 50 for the Stone Cats. Who can get on the board with the first goal? But it's going to go out of bounds and we're going to get a throw in. So the Stone Cats have done a lot of attacking so far. Once again, we get a restart. Lambert and Gilbert. Free kick going the way of... It is to Hutchison for the Stone Cats. He can go in short, find a target. He misses that, right, cuts it off. Lambert, he is absolutely smashed. Gilbert's on the ground. Verma, quick kick. Standing there for YCW is Kev Lilac. Inside forward 50, the Stone Cats go once again. Big pack converges on it. Pachulo can't take the mark. Staying down was LaFontaine. He goes in short, look for Champas, couldn't take the mark. Clearing kick for Bonbeach, trying to find Armitage, couldn't find him. Hutchison, tackle applied on him. Lilac goes back with it. Hewlett runs through. It's been a big hot contest already, boys.
Plenty of spice in this one.
Armitage, he goes on his right over Byron Barry's head. TDL. Beringer has the footy now. He's tackled and dispossessed. Barry, he goes out wide, finding LaFontaine.
Their defensive wall at the moment, YCW, is the reason why Bonbeach have been unable to get any sort of free movement at all.
In 8.5 minutes, this game is hot so far. It's only a point to YCW, nothing to Bonbeach, but this game is got it all at the moment. YCW have got it on the Brian Mace grandstand side. They go towards the centre wing. Ball comes to ground. It's picked up here by Lee. It was there for the Sharks. Ball still over in front of the Brian Mace grandstand. Now goes over the line for a boundary thrown. Calvin Lee's done a couple of good things so far, boys. He got involved in one of those short passes, two that YCW normally would hit up every day of the week, and they've missed two due to Bonbeach's desperate defending. So Bonbeach realised that they've got the chance to create some history this afternoon. They want to get the monkey off the back. Seen a lot of premierships, AFL, and just different kinds of sports, different leagues around the place. Teams breaking droughts after a very, very long time of waiting. Can Bonbeach be likewise this afternoon? Short pass mark taken by Lilac. Lilac goes out towards his teammate, the man who won the second semi-final with a goal. Luke Painter goes towards the centre wing. Mark taken, and they can play on here through Butland. He goes around one, he goes towards half forward. And that's a good mark. Going back in defence there, taken for Bonbeach, and it's been taken there by Ben McLean. He turns it over though. Now chance for Wallace. Wallace goes in short, and the mark has been taken 35 to 40 metres out from goal.
This is my man, the Champas.
So Christian Champas is the man.
I didn't get to actually give my tip for best on ground before the game, but I was actually going to go Champas because it's that sort of day. I think he'll pop up and probably kick 3 or 4 to win them the game if they do.
So this for the first goal of the game. Has the shot.
Oh no.
That's a poor kick, so
AJ's cursed him. Yep, absolutely.
2 behind YCW. Bonbeach yet to score. We've played nearly 10 minutes.
I know it might sound silly given the scoreboard, but if I'm Bonbeach coaching staff at the moment, I'm a little bit worried about the fact that they are getting halfway towards their goal with a 1-2 goal lead, according to Peter Susevich, and they have just got no movement at all.
Corrigan loads up from full back, down to a nest of players at the wing. Waterstone took the mark. Armitage could have if he didn't. Armitage also sprinting towards this contest up the ground. Another mark taken for Bonbeach. It's Joseph Fisher straight into the man on the mark. Ricochets out to Bailey, who has numbers leaking back. We'll have to be careful here. Big bump laid. And out of bounds we go.
It was well done by Dylan Robertson just there. He didn't take off. He was behind the mark, but he just teased Fisher a little. Fisher took the bait, wanting to drive the ball in long, and he was able to lay the smother. A win for the long sleeve crew today, AJ.
All thrown back in. Centre wing. Still 2 behind YCW. Bonbeach yet to score. Bumped off it and falls out of bounds again.
It was funny to see Bo Bailey trying to bump Kev Lilac, and he didn't move a centimetre.
Probably out of his weight class there, I think, Bo, but love the passion.
High octane start, bit of peace for the moments. Gaining access, Goonan released the hand pass, but it was turned over and slamming it forward. Owen Hewlett, nice strong aerial presence in defence. Brenton Credlin, who has plenty of outlets to choose from, and Armitage had his say, knocked it back in Lee's path. Hewlett, Armitage the target, pulled his man off of it, driven into the grounds is Luca Goonan. 3 Sharks all over him, another ball upcoming.
Tell you what, Dylan, if he's got something wrong with his knee, and I'd say Armitage's got a bit of strapping around his knee. If he's got something wrong with it, he tested it out there, and that was great courage getting back with the flight of the ball.
Hewlett threading it through. Here's Jackson Casey, and he's driven into the ground as well.
You know what they say, Vossi, you don't get injuries if you're in front on the siren on grand final day.
Or you can in the aftermath, Dave, that's for sure.
Can't you what?
Goonan again with another clearance, but it's cut off by Waterstone, who's already taken a couple of marks today. Drops one short, and the switch might be on here if they recognise it. It's Corrigan. He skips a couple of steps in the instruction book out to the wing. Lee could have been next in the chain. Instead, it's Dylan Robertson. Was able to intervene, take the intercept mark, lofted inside 50, 1 target. Strong fist from the side, it was Waterstone, allowed Verma to take the footy away. Hewlett to the outer side, Casey tucked up against the boundary line, sliding on through and then taken down to ground level, out of bounds. Tyson Murray will have a boundary throw in at centre wing, 13.5 minutes into the granny.
Free kick going the way of the Stone Cats, being plucked out there by the umpire, going inside forward 50. Ball goes to the back to Champas. Can he get the first goal? No, he can't. It's gone through for a behind.
Had a couple of chances.
Could have hand passed to Jimmy Cahill there.
Yeah.
BJ Credlin looks like the Karate Kid today with his white headband.
Bit of Luke Shuey 2015 about that. Could have given the hand, should have given the hand off. But they're peppering at the moment. ICW dominance not shown on the scoreboard.
So the rain is just starting to fall. See the brollies going up. It's coming down nice and heavy. It's pretty dry in here, I reckon. Ball comes to the ground. Lilac. He's going to give away a free kick for too high on Bo Bailey. So as Daz mentioned, he's had a fantastic final series, Bo Bailey. He drives the ball up looking for Fisher. Coming over the top was Beringer. Angwin, LaFontaine. He tries to go to Wallace, who's cut off by Gilbert. He goes in the centre square, but it's cut off by Gregory. He goes wider to Cahill. He can get it and go, and he does. Goes up looking for Pachulo, but Waterstone is going to give away the free kick.
Don't reckon there was much in that,
No,
boys.
I thought
we've seen a few of those. We've seen a few of those in the earlier games that not being paid.
So Robertson has the footy now, although he's dispossessed by Douglas. Handball over the top to Mullane. Can he get the ball rolling for the Stone Cats? But it goes out of bounds, and we'll get a throw in deep inside the forward 50. 3 behinds YCW. Bonbeach yet to score, been going 15 minutes.
Still looking for our first goal in the 2022 Grand Final. First time we've been here for 3 years on Grand Final Day, and aren't we excited about it?
Anyone bring the windscreen wipers?
Yeah, well, that's probably another thing there. So another ball up to take place in the forward pocket here for Frankston YCW. Bonbeach defence just trying to clear out of trouble. They've held up well so far, Bonbeach. They haven't really had many deep, in fact they haven't had, I can't remember one real deep foray into their forward line either, so might have just had a couple of shallow ones. Ball up once again. Quick kick out of trouble. It is getting quite difficult to see. It was brightening up. Well, it's getting darker as we speak at the moment. There's a knock forward towards outside defensive 50. Off the ground goes Corrigan. It was out towards half back in the Brian Mace grandstand side. It's picked up though, and a hand pass to Credlin. BJ Credlin goes through. And now the ball goes with a kick by Lilac. It was towards half forward, and the mark has been taken by Jimmy Cahill, who will go back from 45 metres. Wet ball. This will be interesting to see if he can make the distance here, boys.
when Jimmy Cahill comes off the ground next, Vossi, just have a look at his appearance. If it's not Mitch Marsh the second, I don't know who he is.
Wow. A few lookalikes getting around at the moment. BJ Credlin's trying to channel his inner Bruce Dool, I think, with that headband out there.
Byron Barry's going to Danny Southern.
There's a shot and missing. 4 behinds. They're wasting a few opportunities here, YCW. 4 behinds, Bonbeach yet to score. They've just they've got all the play, Dylan.
Sure do. 17 minutes through. Cahill, who probably could have had the goal before, just misses to the left there. Corrigan from fullback again. Heaves it to the wing. Numbers probably with Bonbeach, but out the back, there was one waiting for YCW. And he turns around, whips onto the right, puts his back to half forward. That is a strong contested mark, especially in the wet. Mitch Gent through the middle. He looked to activate his teammates, but they all slip over. It's extremely muddy in the middle over there. Verma fell to ground, as did his teammate who locked in the footy as well. Eventually out the back hatch, and Stonecat's all over him.
Big end to this quarter. If Bonbeach can get one against the grain, they'll have only had about 30 seconds of good footy, and yet they can still take the lead.
Big fly from Barrett. Goonan broke the shackles, but his kick straight into the arms of the Sharks. At least 50 metres on the kick down to their half-forward line. Taking it away, Shane McDonald. Always thrives in no matter what conditions there are. Couldn't that time. Another throw in at half-forward.
But there's a bit of structure about where Shane McDonald is at the moment, AJ, on the ground. When you can sit, we talked about it on the footy show, he needs to be 50, 60 metres out from goal at worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball thrown back in. Fisher doing the ruck work for Bonbeach. Clear and kick by Hutchison. It's going to be turned over. Taking the mark there is Liam Hewlett. He goes wider. Found McLean. He's going to come in board. Finds Mitch Gent. He can wheel and go, and he does. Inside forward 50, Bonbeach go. At the back is Dylan Robertson. It looked like he probably took that on the second or third opportunity. Shane McDonald shot at goal. Goes through from behind.
He's got his hands on the footy plenty. Dylan Robertson done a lot of right things. I'm not sure if turning back into danger was the right move. Got away with it there. Bonbeach, I keep saying it, it's the fundamentals of footy. Lock it in, create another chance, and like I said, if they can get one against the grain, they'll be in front.
Ball comes out, broadcast side. Great mark to Berringer.
Not great by Sam Gilbert there, nudged him into that contest and then didn't follow him.
Goes up, looking for a target in Troutbeck, goes over the back. So Douglas has it now for Bonbeach. He goes into the middle. Osland. He tried to go over to Casey, but he misses him. Wallace, he brushes off. He goes over the top. His ball's cut off. Pachulo just gets it out to Jimmy Cahill. It's in front of him. Who's going to win the race? Cahill or Gilbert? Good chase by Gilbert, but dropping into the hole is Kyle Hutchison.
Barely 15, that.
He needs to go back and just line up for YCW's first of the afternoon. 4 points, plays 1 point. We've played 20 minutes. Could we see a goalless opening quarter?
YCW haven't kicked a goal in any of their first quarters so far.
That being today, Daz.
Yes, Fossey.
Yep, okay.
Yep. And they've gone with and against the wind.
So
pattern there.
The veteran Ian Hutchison has the shot. It doesn't quite make the distance. They're still looking for their first goal, and Bonbeach just holding the ball up in the goal square. Four behinds plays one behind. It's YCW by 3 points. We're near on quarter time in the grand final. Probably, maybe still another 3 or 4 minutes to play, but as a kick off the ground, but it's been marked here for YCW. They're 40 metres out from their goal, and the man to have the shot will be Bailey Anglin. And this to get the crowd involved, because we're still looking for the first goal of the game. Can Bailey Anglin put it through to the Nepean Highway or beach end of the ground in the opening quarter? Doesn't waste a lot of time. Man on the mark, just creating the diversion, and he misses again. So 5 behinds, 5 points, plays 1 behind, 1 point. Tell you what, this is a game of who can get it right in front of goals at the moment, Dylan.
Definitely is, as is in the VFL too. 6-8 to 4-5 inaccurate kicking. The Casey Demons leading that one at Icon Park. Resumption here at Skybus Stadium. Bonbeach have made their way to the middle of the ground and further out to the wing, but the Stone Cats are repelling. A slap forward, didn't really connect with the footy. Out of bounds we go again.
I'm not a believer in the term deserve when it comes to grand final day, but YCW are going to be ruining their chances for certain. There's not going to be long left in this first quarter, and there's no point both teams getting negative. Someone's got to try and risk conceding a goal to try and kick one.
High throw in. Either ruckman got the tap, but Gent found a slither of space. It was enough for him to eject the kick further down the line. And Fisher had 2 to contend with, did enough to put it out of bounds again.
Or, of course, knowing our luck that we'll get the siren will go as a mark gets taken inside someone's forward 50.
22.5 minutes through this first quarter. Should be a shorter one, although
2 minutes left.
Could be a couple of minutes left. There it is. Hewitt down to ground, entering the scene, Gilbert. And he's tucked away with a couple of Stone Cats in the stoppage. The ball up to follow on the wing. Hewlett flies from the side. Lilac laying some pressure. Another stoppage.
Jackson Casey looks like he's going all right so far, Vossi.
Well, maybe the jab that he would have had, AJ, maybe hadn't taken effect early, but maybe it has now.
Possibly.
Stone Cats advancing, slowly tumbling across the wing. LaFontaine. High hand pass, but it works in the end. And now they can seed it up to their 50. Just dropped down to ground. It was almost for Lockie Wallace. But now their teammates have a chance. Stepping past one and snapping towards goal. And on the last line of defence, they push it through again. So technically they've kicked a goal. It's 6 behinds to 1 behind. 23.5 minutes into this opening quarter at Skybus Stadium.
I just watched Brenton Lambert there. He just shook his head on the bench here as if to say, well, we're dominating this game. How are we not 5 goals in front early?
I don't blame him.
Absolutely. Ball comes to the back. Quick kick off the ground. That was by Murray. Trent Dennis-Lane comes out to meet the footy, but he leaves it behind. Hura over to Robertson. He goes up looking for a target. Cut off by Corrigan. He's escorted out and will get a throw in.
It's the closest 4-goal differential feeling, isn't it? That's probably what the Stone Cats should be at the moment. But I'm going to give Bonbeach's defence a little bit of credit. A couple of the behinds have been because they've been rushed or hurrying up the player. And Dylan Robertson's about to get a free kick here. No, he's not, sorry.
Jack Luca Goonan will take that.
He will.
So Goonan goes in short and the mark has been taken. 45 metres out from goal directly in front here for the Stone Cats. Looking for their first goal.
Bonbeach's defence looking after me there by leaving about a 10-metre hole inside their defensive 50.
Is that Blake Malone? Or is that? It is Blake Malone with the ball. So he will go back and try and put the first goal in the 2022 Grand Final on the board.
Way the quarter's gone, he's going to hit the post.
Walks to centre half forward. He has the shot, and that's not going to make the distance. So at quarter time in the Grand Final, siren's definitely gone. Yeah, the siren definitely went. So I don't know what the players are doing there. They would have heard that. There's not 100,000 people here. So the siren's definitely gone. So at quarter time, boys, 6 behind Frankston YCW. Plays Bonbeach, 1 behind. That quarter went just under 25 minutes. And that is on the Premier Traditional Homes scoreboard.
It's been an interesting first quarter with no goals scored by either side. Conditions a bit tricky. We've got rain and then we've got sunshine and then we've got some more rain. So hopefully it looks like it might hold off. We're just waiting for Pete to get some more info from the coaches at this quarter time break. Boys, just to let you know, Casey in front by 15 points over Southport in the VFL final. Earlier on today in the AFL. In the AFLW, I should say, the women's games on this afternoon, and Adelaide defeated Collingwood 21-16. Richmond women's lead Essendon women's 18-9 at the moment, and the score here at Skybus, a low-scoring affair in the first quarter with 6 behinds to 1 behind. YCW in front, and we're just waiting for Pete to get some info, boys. He'll be with us in just a tick.
Speaking of bad kicking, of course, the Pies in that AFLW game had 3 shots on goal in the last 6 minutes to win it and couldn't get it done. So inaccuracy is costing teams everywhere, AJ.
Certainly is, as Frankston YCW leave their huddle. Suss will be catching up with Paul Goonan for a quick chat. They'll be upbeat. They've had 6 scoring shots, although they've all been behinds, but they've peppered the scoreboard in that first quarter, and to be honest, probably should be a fair way in front, boys, in my opinion.
Yeah, all the ascendancy in the clearances and stoppages, so you'd think so.
Only had the 4 inside 50s in that quarter, did Bonbeach, and they only really looked threatening on a couple of occasions. YCW at the moment would be looking at everywhere but the scoreboard and thinking we're well on top.
No. Down to Peter Susovic on the boundary.
Thank you to Pete Susovic down there. It's a great insight with Paul Goonan at quarter time. It's fantastic to have the coaches be able to be accessible in a big game like this, Vossi.
100% fantastic to see, and hopefully we'll get a chat with Adrian Conley throughout the day as well.
Absolutely. As the spectators leave the ground, we can see Christian Ongarello just limping off, Aussie. What a star he's been for YCW and also Dramana.
Fantastic player, and I was looking at some of those names in the YCW2s earlier. Some great names in those YCW2s, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
No wonder they won 20 out of 20.
So the players are just getting into position.
A lot of their clearance wins have been courtesy of Luca Goonan as well. Yeah. AJ's been a star of the first quarter.
Won some key clearances in that second semi-final as well.
Absolutely, and we spoke about missing Bailey Schmidt, but to be honest, Zach Barrett hasn't shown anything less than what Schmidt would have provided in there. He's been fantastic and around the ground, Daz.
And he's kind of gone to the old 1970s ruckman who were just playing a kick behind the ball and creating a contest. A few ruckmen back in the day, Graham Teasdale, Len Thompson, these guys won Brownlow's doing it, so it's a pretty good tactic to use, and he's done it very well, and the ruck battle's been an interesting one to watch.
Absolutely. So, as we mentioned, YCW 6 behinds, playing Bonbeach 1 behind. We're about to start the second quarter here at Skybus Stadium for the Division 1 Mpnfl Grand Final. Just waiting for the young fella on the ground to get off. He wants to keep kicking the footy.
I don't blame
his old man. Unfortunately, there's the ground's booked for something else at this current point.
Not sure what.
So, umpire Duell getting into position. He holds the ball aloft. And we're underway. Gilbert into the ruck now for Bonbeach. And we haven't gained any metres.
Surely not. Surely not a stoppage. My goodness.
So Barrett and Gilbert. Barrett wins this down. Immediately tackled by Douglas was Butland. And once again, we'll get another stoppage. So that's better from Gilbert, jumping into the ruckman. He gets a quick kick going forward. Standing under it is Hewlett. Can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Handball out. Hutchison goes over the top. Barrett trying to run onto it. Gilbert affects him there. Butland lays a big tackle. Pressure certainly hasn't dropped from the first quarter. Quick kick going the way of Bonbeach, but standing there was Kev Lilac, who's bit off a bit more than he could chew. They may get away with it through Diaz. Calvin Lee. His head over it for Bonbeach. Diaz tries to break through. The umpire's going to call for it.
Been a good start by Sam Gilbert. Did a couple of things in that first quarter I can't say I was a huge fan of, but it 3 or 4 desperate efforts. Great start by him.
So Barrett with the hit out. Diaz tries to pick it up. Calvin Lee with a handball over to Armitage. Sullivan, he goes with a quick kick, looking for Liam Hewlett, goes over his head. He's opposed to Henry Berringer. He's going to retreat and go back to Bo Bailey, marking on the 50-metre mark.
We like this kid, but he can't kick this far, unfortunately.
So where's he going to go? He's going to go into the pocket with a dangerous kick. Berringer couldn't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Hutchison dives on it.
Has to be ball.
It is going to be holding the footy. And Bonbeach will be able to line up for goal. Straight in front. Can they break the shackles and get the first on the board in the second quarter?
Well, 30 metres out directly in front, you'd like to think that, that they would put this through.
Moz.
He hasn't mozzed it, surely.
All right.
Say it ain't so, Vossi.
Jack Sullivan's going to kick this goal, boys. He's 30 metres out. He'll go back and he'll put it through for a point.
Oh, no. He's mozzed him. Oh, the curses are alive and well on grand final day.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
It's all happening here at Skybus Stadium. Dylan Robden brings the footy back in. He finds Max Gregory. He wanted to go by hand, but instead goes by foot. Goes up the ground, looking for Lambert. Gets over the back. Corrigan versus Hutchison. Who can win out? Corrigan's looking for the boundary line, just pats it in front. 1-2 pats. And the umpire's going to call for a throw in.
Just does the right thing defensively a lot more often than a lot of defenders. Sean Corrigan did it again.
So boundary umpire to throw the ball back into play. YCW 6 behind, Bonbeach 2 behind. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter of the grand final for season 2022. And he stole that ball there, the Bonbeach player, in Sam Gilbert. But I tell you what, he probably shouldn't have, because he got pinned himself for holding the ball. So as it is, Blake Malone with the ball. He'll go from between centre and half forward. He goes with a long kick towards a 2-on-2 contest in the forward 50. Is that a mark? No, says the umpire, is it? No, he's paid it.
Go on, Vossi, moz him.
All right, so Josh Butland, I'm going to double down. Double or nothing. So, yeah, no, Josh Butland will put this through, boys. 30 metres out directly in front, going to the scoring end of the ground.
Remind me not to play blackjack with you, Vossi. If this is the strategy, my goodness.
So he's, I think Jack Sullivan didn't take his time, and that's my excuse anyhow. But Josh Butland with the ball, 30 metres out, has the shot. There you go, there's a goal in the grand final. The first goal of the game, and it's only taken about 30 minutes of actual playing time. 4.5 minutes in the second quarter. And YCW 1-6-12, Bonbeach 2 behind. Premier Traditional Home scoreboard.
Good reward for effort. Blake Malone's tackle on Sam Gilbert was fantastic. Had the double grab. Joshie Butland went back and straight off the boot. He gave a bit of love to the crowd. I like the fact that the whole front half got around him in celebration. They know they deserve that. This margin should be a lot bigger than what it is. But you got to live with what they've done. Good reward for effort, and if it's the start of something for YCW, then Bonbeach need to respond and respond quickly. So we just return the footy back to the umpire.
YCW finally on the board. They struggled all in that first quarter, but Josh Butland with his first, and they might just have another attack brewing here. Taken high, Verma.
Oh, David Armitage didn't like
know about it.
Oh, it's on.
Everyone just screaming to get up. Play resumes, and out to the wing here. A 2-on-2. Robertson at ground level, and he takes Lehigh.
Oh, there's some feeling in this one.
Calvin Lee knew better than to be caught up in the contest at the scuffle.
Mightn't be the most stats-filled player, but of the finals we've seen, he does a lot of the right things.
And now it's operation into the 50 for Bonbeach, and that's
a moz in it of itself, I think.
You ever had hair like Calvin Lee, Dylan?
No, I haven't, Vossi, unfortunately. Out to the wing, 2-on-2. Big punch comes from the back. Yeah, might have Vossied him there. They didn't even make it into the 50, Daz. You're right.
Yeah, spot on, mate. That's just the way it goes. But Vossie's only asking you that question to show off that he did back in the day, so...
He did.
Oh, for a time, Daz, for a time.
That'd be a fair amount of hair to fit that head, that's for sure.
Bit of Bohemian Rhapsody out of the mouth too. But it's Bonbeach in the contest. Turnover of the hand pass, and Robertson's open on the outer side. He can unlock a few suggestions.
Oh, he's gone the barrel.
He goes the spiral, long and strong. Almost a mark. Corrigan rushing it out.
He kicked that like he was just kicking a toy footy at home down the hallway. It just looked so relaxed and just kept going and going. But he's probably been one of the best on the park at the moment, Dylan Robertson. He's just gotten himself into the right spot a lot of the time.
Lost skill in AFL football, that Daz.
Could have sized them up, but decided to take on the barrel. And now the contest opens up. Casey the hand pass. Long clearing kick out of defence, depth on it. Hewlett, front position, smacked away at the back by Berringer. We'll have a boundary throw in about 70 out.
Fair sized lad, Berringer, Vossi.
Yeah, he would be, I'm assuming it's a son of the great Mark, I'm assuming. Certainly a relation, that's for sure. Yeah, no, we're getting a nod to say yes, it is.
Ball thrown back in. Gilbert deposits it over to Casey, who slams it on the boot and indiscriminately finds the boundary line again. So 1-6-12 to 2 behinds, Bonbeach.
Is it crazy to say that if YCW kick the next one, Bonbeach need to go into panic mode?
Potentially.
They just don't look like scoring at the moment.
Lee butters up. Gilbert loitering. And now he has some space. Able to discharge the footy down the line. Hewlett plays on. Casey on the overlap. Armitage in trouble. Hampered. Ricochets straight back into YCW's hands. Another spiral sent forward. The torpedoes are coming out in all effects, and
great hands.
It's YCW's turn. A looping hand pass. Space is opened up every angle. Paturo open. Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no! It's all unravelled in front of their eyes.
They just had 3 of the best hand passes you'll ever see. And then we've got that.
Bonbeach expedite movement from full back, but no.
Bonbeach at their mercy then, and they set that up so well.
Troutbeck just slipping over in the square there. Hurt them. Pachulo probably should have just had a shot on goal, especially in these conditions. Ball thrown in. That man doing the right work. Gilbert comes over the top of him. Right. Tackled, and we're going to get a stoppage.
When we say goals are a premium, let me tell you, goals are a premium. We're not getting them even from the goal square.
So Mullane, he extracts it from the contest. He wants to go on his left, and he does. Can he find Jimmy Cahill? And absolutely ripped off. The Bison, Vossi.
Oh, he's got a bit of Mitch Marsh about him.
He's got heaps of Mitch Marsh about him.
Yeah, I can see that.
So YC currently 1-7-13. Bonbeach 2 behinds.
I'll try my luck once more. You'll miss to the right.
Vossi, you're on a winning streak, son. That's when you pick up your chips and you head on home.
Best out of 3 days. I'm 1 for 2 at the moment.
In comes Cahill. Shot on goal.
Oh,
that was never missing, Vossi.
Oh, 1
there you
for...
go. I'll give that up for the day.
So YCW get their second, 2-7-19. Bonbeach 2 behinds.
In every aspect of the game, bar the scoreboard.
There you go.
Bonbeach are in big trouble. Oh, yeah. Not sure about the moustache. But, yeah, there's a bit of Mitch Marsh about him.
So, YCW, the only 2 goals of the game, both in this quarter. Again, they're dominating the attacking 50, so probably should have had a third, but they missed one from, well, not missing from the goal square. The player slipped over in the goal square, and Matt Troutbeck. So the ball back to the middle. So it's the Stonecats up by 17 points, looking for their first senior premiership since 2017. Bonbeach their first since 1984. So 2017 doesn't seem a long time ago, but 1984 does. I was 9 years old. Work out your mathematics from there, listeners and viewers. Ball out towards centre wing.
Still riding dinosaurs to work, Vossi.
Horse and cart, you mean? There's a kick by Painter towards half forward. The umpire's actually given a free kick. It's going to go back on just the defensive side of centre wing, and Bonbeach will take it. They need to get something happening here, the Sharks. They just haven't been able to hit the scoreboard so far, and you can tell they're starting to get a bit anxious about it when they haven't hit the scoreboard as yet in this game. Ball inside attacking 50. The ball will come out towards centre half back. It's going to be picked up there by Ziampis. It was, gets a hand pass over, but it's taken here for Bonbeach, and a quick kick towards half forward, and seeing the ball over there was Hewlett of the Liam variety over the line for a boundary throw-in. So the Stone Cats are 2-7-19. Bonbeach are 2 behind, 2 points. We had some lightning, we had some thunder earlier, we had some rain, but it seems to have dried off, thank God.
Ball to the outer side now. In favour of ICW, a holding free kick, actually against Batulo. And Bonbeach is...
Can we go with another lookalike?
McLean.
Matt Spanger.
Casey found some space. Centre wing.
Great man, Matt Spanger, premiership player.
Not a lot to select from for Jackson Casey. Looked a little awkward as he released the kick. Up to centre half forward. Through hands and overheads, and a scrambled ball. Still heading towards full forward. Murray was the one who kicked it. YCW had the numbers, protection from every angle over the head of LaFontaine and
How
out of
much
bounds.
did that hurt him, you reckon, boys, that kick, Jackson Casey?
It's a good question. Yeah, I think it would have affected him a little bit, Vossi, and we saw with Ziampis in the first quarter, balls that are dribbling are just not turning, they're just skidding straight on, so kicking a dribble goal is going to be borderline impossible.
Sounds like Vossi's bowling.
Ball thrown back in. Hewlett flies in the air, crashes, and now it's the Sharks' turn. Hewlett over his head, still going and going. On the last line, they're able to rush it through. 2-7 plays 3 behind. 13.5 through this second quarter of the grand final. Short to Dennis Lane, rather not Dennis Lane, Goonan. Goonan to half back. Brenton Credlin. Again, stagnant movement. Numbers forming across the wing. And internally, that's what it was said to do. His kick was smothered. Lee tapping it on, has Gent as support nearby, and now he gives it off. And Bonbeach, it's opening up for them. There's the first of the day.
Getting around him too, love to see it. Fantastic movement. A YCW defender may have slipped, but great hands from Mitch Gent. And a fantastic finish. And Bonbeach are away. We've got a game on.
The Hill's woken up, that's for sure.
Haven't they, what? A parochial bunch.
Sam Gilbert.
A former Saint, of course, made his career cross half back throughout the 09-10 era for the Saints, but he's played ruck, he's played big body mid, and on that occasion, boys, he was playing goal kicker.
Trent Dennis Lane just making his way onto the ground, heading back down forward as the ball's back in the middle here at Skybus Stadium. Owen Hewlett against Lambert in the ruck. Ball comes to ground. Casey, Stenning. He backs into that.
Non-officiating umpires paid this.
So it's going to go the way of Lockie Stenning. Owen Hewlett just drops into the hole. He takes the mark. He can handball it off to Sam Gilbert. He's missed him, and he is furious. McDonald just escorts the ball out.
When he's still giving him a bit of a look there, Sam Gilbert too.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely cooked him. As he should have. He's running the highs of just kicking the first goal for Bonbeach, and he's got a long kick. The ball's thrown back in. McDonald. Players try and run onto it, but it goes out of bounds once again.
It's definitely going to be a quality, not quantity kind of day for Shane McDonald. He's not going to get 20-25, but he's going to have some moments in this game where he could turn it on its head.
YCW 2-7-19, Bonbeach 1-3-9. Currently at the half forward line for Bonbeach, kicking towards the Nepean Highway end. Ball comes out. No free kick going the way of Stenning for Bonbeach. We'll get a throw in right in front of the Brian Mace grandstand here, centre wing. We've played 16 minutes in this second quarter. 2-7-19, Bonbeach 1-3-9. This ball's thrown back in, comes over the back. McDonald runs onto it. He goes with a high kick, looking for Dennis Lane. He's opposed to two. Ball comes to the front. Beringer just goes off the ground. Gregory, he retreats. Goes forward now. Diaz can't take the mark. Coming over the top was Douglas, and we'll get a throw in front of the clubhouse here at Frankston.
So no goals in the first quarter, 3 in the second quarter. We're nearly at time on. We're 17 minutes. And it's a 10-point lead to the Stone Cats. Ball to be thrown back into play. Half 40 for the Stone Cats, going to the car straight into the ground in the second quarter. The umpire's going to call for a ball up once again, and does. So YCW winning the 3 games that they played against Bonbeach during the year. The one at Bonbeach and the second semi-final at Rosebud were much more competitive games than the game they played here late in the season. On a Saturday night, that was won by YCW by basically about close to 10 goals, I think.
62 points, Fossey, spot on.
So this game going to the round 1 and second semi-final script, it seems going to be quite close the way it's going at the moment. There's a kick out of bounds on the full, or was that touch? No, definitely out of bounds on the full.
Hewlett thought so.
So player Max Gregory for the Stone Cats, who goes with a long kick towards the left forward pocket, going to the back. Here's an opportunity off the ground, got to go off the ground, but he missed. Still a chance. LaFontaine trying to dive onto the square, but the umpire says I'm going to give that a rush behind because Bonbeach defence got in there first and knocked it over. So 2-8-20. The Stone Cats 1-3-9 Bonbeach. Premier Traditional Home scoreboard is Bonbeach just starting to get their hands on the ball a little bit at the moment, and we just need to continue on this pressure, because you'd have to say that the bodies will take the effect later on in the day with the fact that they've played 4 games and this is only YCW's second game in the finals. It has to take an effect at some stage, but I suppose it depends on the training loads that you've had coming into this, but you really need to make sure that you're fit and firing, because this ground does take it out of you. It's the Stone Cats by 11 points.
Throwing it half forward, McLean able to vent it out in the direction of Verma. Another boundary throw in to follow.
It's going to be a big period here to finish off the quarter. Like we say, goals all important, of course, but YCW get one, and that's, you're asking Bonbeach to triple their score to even sort of get in front, let alone put a winning score on the board. So it's going to be a big period.
Mullane nearly collecting another possession, and another dispute to follow. Centre wing, like Mullane, averaging 25.5 disposals this year, 8.3 contested.
League best and fairest winner this year.
Season high 37 disposals against the Bombers in round 3. Where he also had 15 clearances, and Bonbeach will have a free kick here. Out on the full. Mullane on the mark. Leeds being offered. Instead, he puts it to a one-on-one, and eventually the numbers multiply, but YCW win the contest, put it back the other direction, and they can't quite mark Stenning or LaFontaine. Another boundary throw in. Just the 3 goals kicked today, all in this quarter. Butland and Cahill for YCW, Sam Gilbert with the most recent for Bonbeach. Edging towards centre half forward for YCW, and in defence, Bo Bailey identified a teammate on short who may have copped a little bit of flack from Luca Goonan afterwards. He's back up on his feet. He can switch it if he likes, but he takes it into the middle. There was risk all over it, and now the YCW Stone Cats are streaming forward. Patullo, best place, best positioned, and in the end, best hands.
Tell you what, the Bonbeach defence was right on him there, and that to make that stick, he was under real pressure in that marking contest, but best hands, as Dylan just said, and it was very good hands, AJ.
Absolutely right. Clunking those in the wet. It's few and far between today.
It wasn't the sexiest grab, but It's probably the most important so far, and if he goes back and kicks this, that's a dagger near half-time.
7th in goals this season with 2.4 per game. Has kicked 5 goals 4 separate times this season against Bonbeach, Pines and Bonbeach. Alarming signs for the Sharks today because Josh Patullo is on the board for the first time.
Yep, that panic button right about now for the Sharks is being well and truly pushed. It's not the biggest of leads in terms of pure numerics, but in the context of the game, the conditions, the momentum, it is absolutely huge. 11 scoring shots to 4 at the moment, and that's been the reflection of the day, AJ, more than the 17-point lead.
Absolutely, as Liam Hewlett's gone into the ruck, Shane McDonald's come up to the wing. So they get some drive going from there. Barrett against Hewlett. Ball comes out. Gregory's been fantastic off half-back. Mullane over to Hutchison. He's tackled, but he gets his quick kick going forward. Luca Goonan tries to run onto it for YCW. Trapek. That's great work by Luca Goonan. Mullane. He spins out of one. He goes in finding Diaz. He's told us not far enough. He's dumped downfield. Oh, Robertson takes the mark. But it doesn't matter. Dylan Robertson will go back from the top of the goal square and should put YCW's 4th on the board.
Already marked it in, AJ.
Anyone go on the early crow?
Already marked it in.
Early crow on the game.
It should be a goal.
No, I'm talking about the result, Vossi.
Not yet, no. Definitely not. 4-8-32, Frankston YCW, Bonbeach 139. And the margin is 23 points here in the grand final. Daz, what have you made of Shane McDonald's game so far?
Yeah, he's had a couple of moments. He fumbled early in the first quarter and probably struggled to end the game. I wonder if it's time. Yeah, I think he's working his way to the wing. I wonder if you just get him in at the contest, get him a few touches, and then after half-time, get him coming off the half-forward flank and making an impact. He's definitely one that can lift.
He's not alone.
No, he's certainly not. And that number could probably be double digits, AJ.
Absolutely. So they need a lift from their leaders. Bonbeach here.
When's the time, do you think, though, that Adrian Connell will be thinking, well, we've got to get Shane McDonald down in the forward line, but I guess you've got to get the ball down there, get him into the forward line and actually open it up for him like they did last week.
I think he's dangerous across half forward, so I don't think he has to be deep. As the ball's going to be thrown up once again in the middle. Liam Hewlett wins this. Diaz is tackled.
But if you're the YCW defence, you want help down there, and it's going to scare the opposition if they can get enough ball down there, if he's the one down there.
Problem is, Vossi, the lead might be too much. It might not make a difference pretty soon.
Exactly right. Casey, he goes with a high up and under. Dylan Robertson, not awarded the mark.
I'm calling it. He's been best on ground in this first half.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, along with Gregory. Mullane as well. Free kick going against Dylan Robertson. Bo Bailey's going to take the advantage. He goes long looking for Fisher, but standing there is Barrett.
Disadvantage in the end.
Free kick going the way of Henry Berenger. He's going to go in and finds Luca Goonan, who can't take the mark. Tackled by McDonald. Umpire is looking to pay a free kick here going the way of Bonbeach.
Goodness.
Going the way of Tyson Murray. Inside forward 50 he goes. Who can stand up and take a mark? Ball comes to ground. Clearing kick, so it's going to be a foot race here. It's 1 versus 3 at the moment. Butland wins out. The Champus, he gets his head taken off. Bit of a professional free kick by Corrigan just to slow it down.
Yeah, spot on, and Champers could be one of the best on the park. Didn't convert his couple of chances. A lot of unrewarded running today.
Inside forward 50 they go once again. Goes over the back. Mark not paid.
Touch beforehand, I think.
Crowd getting rowdy as well, which we like.
So if they could sneak one here, the Stone Cats, it's already an impressive margin of 23 points. And in a low-scoring game, it's a pretty big lead at the moment. Still a half of football to go. Kaya Diaz has had an interesting second quarter, good second quarter. In fact, the kick goes towards the forward pocket, goes over for a boundary throw-in. So, yeah, it's going to be it's going to be hard for the Sharks to come back here. They're behind on the scoreboard. They've played the extra week. They don't seem to have the injection of confidence going through the bodies at the moment. They're just going through the motions to say, well, how are we going to get back into this game? Well, they need the coach to talk to them at half-time and trying to work out a plan to try and get their better players all over that ball. Kick out towards half-back. Now it's kicked off the ground and over the line.
And the weather doesn't look like holding up there.
It's a long way back when you've got 3 blokes who have come in underdone as well.
Yeah, spot on, AJ. I was going to bring that up. Took the words out of my mouth. This is set up beautifully for YCW to go 2-1 at the moment.
Boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. Gilbert was tackled by Lambert. Good tackle it was. And that could have been...
Yeah, there was a bit of a fend off there, Vossi.
Yeah, I thought there might have been a holding the ball decision there. It could have just as easily been. The umpire said no. So 60 metres out from the goal that the Bonbeach side are defending in this second quarter, which is a cast straight into the ground. They need to hold out here. Corrigan tackled. Good tackle applied. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Stone Cats up by 23 points, and this game is in danger of slipping away if Bonbeach aren't careful there, Dylan.
Sure is. Gent licking it up by hand. Kick smothered by Lee. The lane experiencing plenty of longitude in the tackle, and now his teammate lays another one. Just can't escape the Sharks.
Religious or non-religious, they're praying for the siren right now, the Sharks.
Gilbert in the ruck this time for the Sharks, just looking to light some sort of fuse. Little chip dainty kick out of the ruck by YCW, won't work. Ricochets back into the centre. McDonald crashes through, and as soon as he crashed through, it's brought right back down to ground level. Another ball up, 4-8 plays 1-3. All the goals kicked this quarter, too early for YCW. Gilbert replied, YCW with the last 2 as well. A 2-on-2, all stalking the footy. Well collected in defence. Corrigan sails a high one up the wing. Fell back down to YCW's hands and may go to half forward again. Pachulo from the side. Another throw in. Seems to be all YCW, no matter where the ball falls, all in their hands.
Guys, I know Armitage is injured, but he's clearly a better midfielder than he is half forward. So they've got to roll a dice and get him around the footy.
And a whistle downfield. Or against.
It's against.
So it'll be
it's going to the Stone Cats.
YCW's.
There's been a mistake.
It'll be YCW's ball at the top of the 50.
It's against Liam Hewlett on centre wing, and it is going to go, as you said, Dylan, to Lambert on 50.
And there's going to be holes because Bonbeach were moving forward after the free kick.
They were, and it's centre half forward now. They
Wow.
can have a shot. Just like that, undisciplined acts.
A potential 2-goal turnaround here if you're a Stone Cats supporter, a chance to go to a 29-point lead with only seconds to go in the first half.
I'm calling it. He kicks this, it's done.
Jeez, Daz has gone early. 50 metres out. Siren not too far away. It's the perfect half for YCW. Rain continues to pour down. The conditions are not ideal for the kick. But Josh Patullo, and he's missed everything in the end.
Oh, it's not over.
And Daz is safe. LBLD.
And Bonbeach would most likely see out the final seconds of this half. Large throng at the wing. And the ball didn't even make it there in the end. Up to half forward, so there's still a chance it unveils itself.
50,
and 50 metres.
Now, I can understand the frustration, not the discipline. I think it was Lockie Wallace who put one of the most blatant blocks on you'll ever see that wasn't paid. And clearly the feedback to the umpire wasn't of a respectful nature. I can understand the frustration, but that's unforgivable on the halftime siren to give away a 50-metre penalty.
Played for the Stingrays the last 3 years. He's a young talent, and on the siren he gives YCW their largest lead of the grand final. 5-8-38, plays 1-3-9. There's someone knocking, AJ.
It has the initials Fat Lady, Dylan, according to AJ.
The initials BFL.
The initials?
Oh, it's all happening. It is half-time, 5-8-38. Bonbeach 1-3-9. We'll be back for the start of the second half.
finals, how he was selected, and him and Bomber Thompson were the 25th players. And in those days, there was only two interchange players. And he talked about he went to the grand final parade, he got invited and jumped in the car with Bomber, and they still didn't know what was going on. And the joke was played by Bomber saying, just go and ask him. And he went up and asked Sheeds, and Sheeds told him basically to bugger off. And that was on the Friday morning, or Friday late morning. And then the Friday night at 9 o'clock at night, he gets the phone call. Yeah, you're in. And then hung up the phone. So Harvey's walking around the household Friday night going, what's going on? Got in, won the grand final. Pretty sure it was the 85 grand final.
Yeah, it would have been the 85 grand final.
Where the Baby Bombers, so in, I think it was 84, they went with an older side, but went with the Baby Bombers in 85. And then it was actually good how we went through it. He went up to, he had a couple of, we'll say, sherbets that night, and went up to Sheeds and said, why'd you leave it so late? And he says, to keep you two guys enthused and guessing, and on the cusp that you're going to be playing in the grand final, I just want you to get excited. So, yes, he gave some memorable accounts of Sheeds.
Well, he was a tough, uncompromising player, Mark Harvey, and I'm sure that Essendon supporters would love to see some of his starch and determination back in their side for next year.
I reminded Mark Harvey in 1983 that he came and fixed my pool pump down in Cheltenham. So, and he recalls that.
Did you pay?
Yes, yes. And actually, he talked about how everyone had jobs during those days, and you look back on the ethos and how he was working and all that, and you think in AFL football, his first year of football, and what he's going to be doing and all that, and he worked his guts off.
Yeah.
So, as a plumber, and then got through, and
well, going back to the days like Paul Couch was at Garbo, and
yep.
There was plenty of guys who had some, like being at Garbo is not exactly, it's not exactly the lightest job that you can do, is it?
No, getting up early in the morning, you'd be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and in those days you would have been throwing rubbish bins into the back of the truck, and not like today when an arm comes out of the truck and picks up your bin and away you go. Those boys would have worked fairly hard. So it would have been great to be there for the lunch today, Pete. And of course you caught up with, we heard both the coaches pre-game as well. So be interesting to see, boys, what the Bonbeach coach would have had to say to his players at half-time as they've just come back out onto the field.
I spoke with both coaches just before they left the lunch, and well-spoken, really relaxed. You wouldn't know it was a special day for them today. They were really motivated, but they weren't, what's a good way, pulled in over the top with the situation.
Yeah.
They were well in control.
I think when you see the better coaches these days, they are man managers. They've got their team of specialist coaches around them. And I'm sure these boys at these clubs do the same. But certainly it's a lot different than when we were probably playing, Pete, with the fire and thunder and brimstone you would have got leading into a grand final and before the game.
The rah rah rah. And how's the commentators going out in front of you, Craig? They're putting the curse on a couple of players.
Yeah, look, Rossi's put the curse on a couple of goal kickers. Been a big day again for AJ, who's had I believe a late night and a big day, and certainly Daz has been here from the start this morning as well. So Dylan sort of rocked in late, as did Rossi, as Rossi does. But they've done a great job today. I've got to get a drive-by in because I've got to get one in for the whole season. So.
Isn't it interesting that Daz lives in the Pines, Frankston, and I'm in Rosebud? Who was here first?
Very true. Very true.
I left at 6:30 though, just to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I had a task to do this morning, and the car got stuck behind an automatic fence that wouldn't open for us. So
I'm glad you said stuck, not stolen.
No. But that's the next step when you live in the Pines. So that'll happen at some point.
The thoughts of Daz don't necessarily reflect the thoughts of everyone else here in the commentary about the Pines.
Exactly.
I had someone try to break into my car a couple of weeks ago, Vossi.
Yeah, and what did you do?
No, not me.
Yeah, like the Karate Kid.
No, that's, about 3 a.m. woke us up because the alarms work, so I know they're not a sponsor, but shout out Holden for your security, because looked after me beautifully there.
First 10 minutes is where it's all going to happen for Bonbeach here, boys. They need to hit the scoreboard. They need to get things going and basically dominate the ball. Trying to take the ball away from YCW, stop them scoring, because those last 10 minutes look very, very ominous in the second quarter as far as the Stone Cats were concerned. It is a 29-point lead to start the third quarter. They call it the Premiership quarter. They call it the Premiership quarter for a very good reason. It's starting to rain here again at Tar Street at Skybus. The umpire holds the ball aloft and we are underway to start the third quarter. The Stone Cats have got one hand on that Premiership Cup, but Bonbeach have got work to do to try and get themselves back into this game. Good tackle applied, and the umpire says I'm going to ball it up once again.
So how long are you giving Bonbeach, Fossey, to gain some ascendancy before you join me in the camp of I think she's over?
I reckon give it 10 minutes. They've got to do something in 10 minutes in my mind here, Daz. So
I'll check back in.
It's please do. There's a knock towards half forward. Greasy ball already out there. The rain is just starting to come down that little bit heavier here at Skybus.
A few positional changes after half-time. Liam Hewlett's gone to centre-half back on Pachulo. McLean's gone into the ruck and Armitage, and also Trent Dennis-Lane starting on the bench.
Shane McDonald, the second deepest forward for Bonbeach as well.
So Bonbeach looking to try and get Shane McDonald into that game. He might have pushed his opponent in the back, not to be. Joe Fisher then just gives his opponent a bit of a nudge now. Get the ball back to Joe Fisher. Gets it off. Calvin Lee, a hand pass to McDonald. It went over his head. It comes back to Calvin Lee on the right foot. He snaps. He goes! There's a start for the Sharks in the second half. Can they get it going? That's the start they're looking for. 2-3-15 plays 5-8-38, margin back to 29 points. 23 points, I should say.
Had to make up for the errant handball. Calvin Lee missed Shane McDonald, who would have run into an open goal, but he butted up beautifully, and he's probably only missed the post by a lick of paint, Vossi, but it's all you got to miss it by.
As the lights come on here, boys, it's going to be a treat to see these all on. Maybe we're only going with a couple.
Took all of a minute and a half for Bonbeach to get back on the board. Their second goal through Calvin Lee. The first was Sam Gilbert. And now a 23-point margin, but they seem to have been motivated by their half-time speech. Slipping down the ground, but they're able to win the clearance again. Gent tapping it forward. He'll be persistent with the second possession. Gilbert helps himself. Forward hand pass. Barry this time. Able to intervene necessarily for the Stone Cats. Kicks to the outnumber in favour of the Sharks, who advanced through the middle. Had Gilbert on short, took it longer where Shane McDonald was perfectly placed. Backtracks for Verma. Gets the kick to fall forward. Hewitt once, twice, not quite. In fact, it was Fisher, McDonald, all clubbering out there. The free kick.
Oh boy, the crowd's woken up.
Shane McDonald, the man to take the kick for Bonbeach.
I haven't mozzed them. I haven't mozzed them. I haven't mozzed them. I haven't mozzed them.
You've mozzed them.
Nah, huge kick. Shane McDonald would have only had a handful of touches in that first half. And he did turn the ball over on the half-forward flank in that second quarter. Well, all of that can go away if he puts this through.
Their superstar has the ball, AJ. Can he do it?
Well, he went bring it back to 17 points.
He went goalless for the first time in the semi-final against YCW since round 15, and right now,
doesn't like it.
He's missed.
Oh yeah, he was willing it through. The nude nut was pointed at 45 degrees. Willing at home, couldn't get it done. But again, fundamentally, lock the ball in, create chances. The momentum is well and truly with the Sharks early.
5-8 to 2-4. Stone Cats from fullback, scampering away. Great mark. The man who's been put in the side today with the absence of Schmidt. Barrett taking a moment to survey what's ahead. Down the wing and crashing through and marking. Matt Trout back 50 metres. Against Mitchell Gent. They've been alert to it all today, the umpires. And what Shane McDonald couldn't do on one end, Matt Troutbeck can do on the other.
This would be the
Lane went
definition.
through the mark as well.
Yeah, that's probably why Mitch Gent got a bit frustrated. But I think if he had received the handball, it would have been called back.
And on the other end of McDonald's goalless statistic, Troutbeck had a season-high 5 goals in round 15 against Bonbeach. And there's his first for the day. That hurts. 12-point swing. And it's 6-8 to 2-4. 4.5 minutes through the third quarter.
Well, we've talked about defining moments in games earlier today. That could have been one for the Sharks. They had all the momentum. He didn't do a whole lot wrong there, Mitch Gent, at all. Going through that contest, just trying to follow his man. It was pretty smart from the YCW player, who, of course, can't really get in trouble for doing it. But I've got to give a shout out to Zach Barrett as well, who had a smaller man running past after he took that mark, and he just glared at him without giving him the handball. I like it.
Ball back in the middle. McLean wins the tap out. Gent drives it long inside forward 50. Hewlett tries to take the mark. Shane McDonald at the front of the pack. Hits the post. So that's 2 he's missed in the last couple of minutes.
He turned his back on the ball as soon as it hit his boot. He knew it wasn't going through. Wow. Of all the players.
So Robertson brings the footy back into Painter. He marks in front of Murray. Just surveying his options at the moment. He's going to drive it down in front of our commentary position here. Casey at the front of the pack. He runs into Butlin, who absolutely dumps him into the ground.
Oh, didn't like that. Jackson Casey, a little bit of treatment there.
He certainly pushed through his injury well, Jackson Casey. You wouldn't know. Diaz runs onto it. He backtracks. He goes over looking for Painter. Pachulo just shepherds Hewlett out. Painter tackled straight away. What's the umpire going to do? Yes, he's going to pay hold in the footy, and that is correct.
Crowd letting us know what they think of that decision. But the game's gone up. The execution by the Sharks needs to improve to stay in the contest.
Driving the footy down. The wing was standing there was Barrett. Couldn't take the mark. Verma tackles Goonan to the ground, and we'll get another stoppage. 6-8-44, playing Bonbeach 2-5-17. We've been going nearly 7 minutes in the third quarter. Hit out down to LaFontaine. He drives it long, looking for Troutbeck in a one-on-one with Waterston. Goes over the back. Troutbeck tries to keep it in, and it goes out. We'll get a throw in.
Another lookalike. I'm getting Rowan Marshall vibes from Zach Barrett.
Like it.
Just got a message from a mate who's in Northern Territory. He's in Katherine in Northern Territory. Good on you, Peter Lehman. Good on you, Pete, for joining us this afternoon in your quest of driving around Australia. I don't know how many times you've done that at the moment, but you seem to have been away from your home for about 3 years, and you always seem to miss COVID all during that time. So good luck to you wherever you are. But here at Tar Street, it is a ball up. Top of the, or near enough to the top of the goal square here for the Stone Cats. They're up by 27 points. We're 8 minutes into the third quarter. Shane McDonald's missed 2 this quarter, the superstar. He's hit the post once and he laid back on a kick and it went across his body. There's a shot and that's just missed. And just missing that one was Lockie Wallace. So 3 for a behind. 6-9-45 the Stone Cats. And 2-5-17 Bonbeach. So it's getting to that stage where Bonbeach has just got to... Look, next goal is a must-as. They need to do it. I'll check in with you now. They need the next goal, otherwise if they concede it, they're in huge trouble.
I like it, Lossie. Coming up with your nickname Splinters, because you still haven't really crossed over, but I'll take it.
Well, how am I not crossed over? I've been on the Stone Cats all year, haven't I?
Yeah, this is a man that did lock them being first on the ladder, so...
Against the third place side. So
not here for excuses, Vossi.
Oh, come on, Daz. So, right out at half forward, YCW 55 metres out from the goal. They're attacking now. The ball just kicked out of, or hacked out of trouble. The mark's been taken on centre wing here for the Stone Cats, and they can load up once again. So 28 points is the margin. Low scoring game. The next goal has to come from Bonbeach if there to be any chance in this game. You would have thought.
Oh, great courage.
And that was really good courage. It was taken for YCW. They go long with the kick down towards the top of the goal square. Off the pack comes the ball in the right forward pocket, and it's not going to go any further. The umpire will call for a ball up. So the margin here is 28 points. The Stone Cats looking for their first premiership in 5 years. Bonbeach looking for their first in 38.
Ball back in play, ever so close to the line. And we'll have another whistle.
Been really professional the way they've been able to wrestle back the momentum here, the Stone Cats.
And in the VFL, the KC Demons victorious, 70-38. Back in play. Helping himself, Stenning. And into the centre, Barry will be the first to hunt it down. But it hit a couple of fists before reaching him. Here he is, Barry, entering the frame, exiting without the footy because he set up his teammates instead. Barrett, he's been monumental in this quarter. Sends a floating tick into the 50. Patullo had hands to it, couldn't complete the deal. Still going, Mullane, and he's taken the ground. That's holding the ball. Well done by Stenning.
They're on the verge of breaking the Sharks, but they're not going to go down without a fight. That's a good kick.
And his next move just as good, down to Gent. Through the centre, probably wasn't aware of the Stone Cat on the other side of him. McDonald's block. Found a channel to lead into, takes the mark.
They're like Vossi, 1 out of 3. That's what we're aiming for.
Virtually the spot where he had the shot from before, boys.
Yeah, spot on Vossi, but like you said, he's had a side up. He is the man to drag them back into this game.
So it's where he missed the snap from before. He's had a couple of cracks at it. They're 28 points down, 11.5 minutes through the third quarter. Great purchase, great contacts, great accuracy.
The nude nut got that one through. It was tilting again. Got it over the line.
And within 22.
We've still got a game on. They're not going to go away, Bonbeach, proving why they're a worthy adversary in this grand final. Mitch Jenks lifted in this quarter. Shane McDonald. Oh, there's a whistle. Blood rule. No, it's okay. Might be the big man himself.
6-9 to 3-5. 12 minutes in now.
How you doing, Vossi? Checking in?
No, we've still got a game, Daz. We've still got a game.
I like it.
How you doing, Daz? You
Mate,
guaranteed them.
If I could grow wings, I'd fly at the moment. Let me tell you, that's how good I'm going.
I'd love to see you in 6 days' time. You reckon you can take some photos next Saturday for us, Daz?
I reckon I'll be the one taking the photos, Vossi, but I'll make sure they get to you.
Make sure they get posted.
Absolutely.
Or after a Dolphins loss tomorrow, that'll do it too.
Oh,
Gents,
we've gone there.
With another clearance for the Sharks. Here they come. Into the 50. Barry. But it's the Sharks out the back. Leaking numbers. Bailey into the pocket. Dennis Lane. He tried his darndest, but you see how the hamstring holds up. It's another behind, and it's 6-9 to 3-6. On the Chisholm Sports Academy score.
Does he actually touch the ball, TDL?
No. Can't.
He's limping at the moment.
Not an impact possession, Vossi, I can tell you that.
So ball's up on the wing here. LaFontaine just tries to knock it over to Hutchison. Gilbert runs into him.
Of course, after this, boys will have the Brownlow medal brought forward, of course. So still plenty of footy, and of course, grand final day on Saturday. How good's that going to be? But this one is still up for grabs.
Ball thrown in, centre wing. It's on the ground, Bo Bailey. He gets the handball out to Calvin Lee. He gets a quick kick going forward. Slipping over was Joe Fisher. And YCW are able to exit up to the wing and finding LaFontaine. He's got options in the middle.
We've got the switch on here if he wants it.
It's going to go further afield. Byron Barry. He can just survey his options. BJ Credlin. He goes up the ground looking for a target. McLean couldn't take the mark. Cahill. Inside forward 50 they go. Champas out the back. Hutchison. It's been awarded a throw, going the way of Bonbeach.
And
They're taking the advantage.
Oh.
Casey, Mitch Jen.
That'll work.
Fisher can't take the mark. He's had a bit of a dirty day today, Joe Fisher. Calvin Lee this time. He goes with a spiral inside 450, but Byron Barry will relieve for the Stone Cats once again. He finds Jimmy Cahill.
He's had some important moments, Jimmy Cahill.
They've gone in short once again, the Stone Cats. Just controlling the tempo. Frankston YCW. They go down looking for Pachulo. Goes over his head. No mark was taken. Douglas has it. He's wrapped up by Butland. And we'll get a stoppage.
So 21 points is the margin, 15 minutes into the third quarter. It's the Stone Cats 45, Bonbeach 24. Bonbeach have looked a lot better in this third quarter, but they still had a couple of other chances. Shane McDonald's kicked 1 goal, 2 for the quarter. So he's getting his hands on it, but just hasn't been able to give him the ultimate lifter at the moment. Was that goal that he kicked just before the one that might get them back into the game? Time will tell. They go forward, Bonbeach. They go towards half forward, but it's going to be picked up, almost picked up there for the Stone Cats. It's kicked off the ground. There's a free kick. It's actually going back.
McDonald.
It's actually going to Shane McDonald. He'll set things up from about 55 metres.
Has he got the leg, AJ? You know him well? Or you know his game well?
I think he'll be just on his range, I reckon. He'll have to run around.
Not with the wet ball. He won't kick the distance with the wet ball. I think he'll give it a go. He's capable of the distance, but I think that greasy ball might just play against him.
I know hypotheticals aren't fun, but if he puts this through and he had done the other two, this would be 4 points.
He goes long. I tell you what, he's just about done it. He has done it, has he? He has done it. He's put it through for a goal. Well, there you go. He's just thrown egg in my face. Well, thanks, Macca, for that. 4-6-30, plays 6-9-45. We have a ball game here. It's that Skybus.
I told you you'd kick it, Vossi.
There's been a substitution in the coaching box. Splinter's gone and Moz has come in. Fantastic.
That was a great kick by Shane McDonald. He was 55 metres. He was almost 60 metres out, I reckon.
And to think, Vossi, if he puts those two through the big sticks earlier in the quarter, this game would be 5 points the margin.
I wouldn't have given 2 bob for that ball going through, but that was a great kick, Dill, wasn't it?
Certainly was, and suddenly the Sharks are back in touch. 15 points the margin. Hewlett down, Gilbert in. Engulfed by many tackles, but he's still got the hand pass out. Douglas, adventurous to centre half forward. Gent, here's a goal. Armitage is the hope. It just went past him, and it's through for a behind. And it's 6-9 to 4-7.
Not sure you can have both Armitage and Trent Dennis-Lane in your forward line together.
Not in their condition, but this momentum in this game's a bit like a Shoal Akhtar delivery with the new ball. It's just swinging everywhere.
It's the Stone Cats' turn to show some composure now because they're under supreme duress. Another high kick into the 50. Gent parked himself below. Didn't quite have access to it. And the Stone Cats
great hands.
Through hands. And now out to the wing. Closing into the middle. Bodies fly. The Sharks, they attack it with pace. A dropped mark. It might just be costly. Lee runs into the man as he kicked it to the wing.
How good's McLean been again?
McLean able to punch it out.
Yeah, AJ spot on. He's probably outdone Sean Corrigan today. He's usually been the second in line, but he's been outstanding.
Centre wing. Boundary throw in. Here it comes. Goes Gilbert's way. But his opponent evaded him, couldn't keep it in. Ooh. 4 goals kicked this quarter, 3 for the Sharks.
Yeah, what could have been, what might have been, what's to come. Can't wait.
Out the back of the pack this time, and now through the middle. Options are opening up inside for the Sharks. 2-on-2. Dennis Lane has to show his offensive prowess here. Him and Armitage, the wounded boys. Armitage
Great
took the
umpiring
bump.
decision.
Got the hand pass, Dennis Lane direction. Out the back, the Stone Cats up the wing, have to show a clean pair of heels out of here. Tackles being laid, decisions aren't. and right into the cage. Fans watch as Barry brings Goonan up on his feet.
I reckon Byron Barry's had a haircut since Friday night. He was at the footy at the MCG Friday night. I reckon he's had a haircut since then.
That's brave on grand final weekend, Vossi.
Big slap down from Barrett's. Lee.
Oh, that's a dangerous
Slung
tackle.
to ground. Umpire called play on. And the forward umpire didn't.
If you ever need an idea on why we need multiple umpires on the ground, a decision like that.
Bo Bailey got some assistance via the Shepherd. Lodged one inside 50. McDonald, he's lurking. Here he is. Does he have a chance? It all emanated from him earlier. Bailey still ravenous for the footy. It's still ajar and still to be won. And still floating around. The Stone Cats, another panic kick. Gilbert thrusts himself at it. And it's called for a boundary throw in.
Daz, how much has this taken out of Bonbeach to get back to where they have? And the other point to take into consideration that YCW will have the scoring in the last quarter.
Yeah, Vossi, you're absolutely spot on. It's going to take a lot out of them. Their forward line, the only thing during this momentum letting them down a touch. They need to be in front at three-quarter time, I think, to give themselves a chance.
Directly on 50. Ball in dispute. Another ball up.
Ticked over in the time on too.
Do you sense another goal here, Daz?
I hope so. Oh, here we go.
Here's a whistle.
Yes.
Bonbeach's
Free kick.
way.
I don't know why I'm barracking for this, given what I said at half-time, but I'm a lover of footy.
Mitchell Gent,
who did cost them a goal through a 50-metre penalty.
Big Chief standing next door and going, I tipped this.
He's tipped against the top teams all year, waiting for his genius moment, hasn't come.
He's had 30-plus disposals 5 times this season. He's been professional in their midfield. But right now, down forwards.
He's got the lean.
Oh, yeah.
As McDonald did. As we mentioned in the reserves, every half chance has to be taken. And Dylan Roberton at full back. Fans one wide for Luke Painter.
Again, I'll do the math for you. If those three go through right now, they're in front. How costly set shot misses can be.
So Painter goes to a dangerous position.
Great
looking
hands
for Barrett.
He's been good. The man Dylan subbed Rowan Marshall.
He goes down looking for Hutchison. Gilbert just edges him out. Hutchison with a quick kick going forward. Champus is there, but well attacked by Corrigan. He should get himself a free kick for too high, and it will come.
Now, technically, watching that tackle, he ducked into that. Like, he knew it was going to come, and he ducked his head low. So he instigated that tackle, boys.
This isn't the only league where it's been a hot topic. The AFL, of course, early on.
Corrigan goes down, looking for Hewlett. Goes over the back, Armitage. Gilbert has it now. He's taken in a tackle, dispossessed. Ball comes out to Mitch Gent. He can't pick it up. He'll get a free kick.
This is... I hope the chiropractors in Frankston are open late tonight. My goodness.
Bo Bailey going long. Trent Dennis Lane. Oh, scores! On the back.
How good's
Tyson
footy?
Murray. He has kicked it for Bonbeach.
I'll tell you what, Vossi, you can get some home and away games that make you come away thinking, oh, where are we at? As soon as finals come and it's close, this is the best sport in the world. Unbelievable.
You can have your world games. Don't worry about that. You can have your American football with your Dolphins playing in that, but...
Oh, we'll be taking care of Dylan's Ravens tomorrow, let me tell you. But this sport, my goodness.
There's nothing better than grand final day. People from all clubs getting involved. And I guess all the non-YCW people will be supporting Bonbeach, I guess. Well, that's what I heard would be the case. So YCW have been asked a few questions in this quarter. Brenton Credlin was tackled. The ball comes back inside, attacking 50 for the Bonbeach side. Forward pocket, good tackle applied. The umpire says throw it back into play. Margin is 7 points.
Sorry, Vossi. Who would have thought that YCW at some point would be praying for a siren? They need this to stop.
They are on the ropes at the moment in terms they have been taking lefts and rights right in the corner at the moment, and they need to just settle down, take a time out. Now I'm talking another sport. Kick out towards the defensive 50, and the ball goes over the line for a boundary throw-in. So it's still 7 points. 24 minutes into the third quarter. This game's still very much alive. I said the first 10 minutes in this quarter would be the time for Bonbeach. Well, they've kicked 4 goals, but how much is it taken out of them? And can someone like Trent Dennis-Lane get his hands on the ball, maybe just kick even 1 goal just to try and get themselves right back into this game, because he basically hasn't touched it. I don't think he has touched it for the whole day.
Well, he dropped the mark before, which allowed Murray to kick the goal.
Call that an assist if you want to. It's a real loose interpretation.
Ball up once again. Quick hand pass, Sam Gould on the left. Quick snap. Oh. In the contest in the square has been knocked towards the line, and good tackle applied by Jack Sullivan. Ball still in that right forward pocket there for Bonbeach, and the umpire says ball up, cast straight into the ground.
Give Henry Berringer plaudits there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remarkable. 25 minutes and counting in the third quarter. It's YCW by 7, but Bonbeach with the last 3 goals.
That's the second stoppage. Remember the theory. You only get 3 or 4 and the umpire will break it up.
That's the renowned theory, the proverbial theory.
The Dastradamus theory.
Bonbeach, 30 out from their goal, no longer. They flush it out of defence to the Stone Cats. McDonald with strength. Didn't have a target in mind, so he played it for himself. Might do it again. Finds the boundary line this time.
Ooh, you can take a breath. What a game.
2 minutes to play in this quarter.
Still heaps of time.
If Bonbeach could have 1 more against their name, wow, what would we say about the final quarter?
I'm not going to lie to you, boys. I kind of half forgot we've still got a quarter to go.
Down to grounds.
Pumped.
Brutal tackle.
Who's been the big lifter for you, AJ, for Bonbeach in this quarter?
Both Gent and Gilbert for mine.
Yep. McDonald on the scoreboard with 2 of the last 3. Shoveled hand pass out for the Stone Cats. Corrigan out of bounds. So they settle down for the last minute or so, because Bonbeach have had all the play since Matt Troutbeck's goal, which opened up the 29 or the 25-point lead. It's back down to 7. Out of the midfield, McDonald speculated by hand, but turned it over. This could be costly, a 2-on-2 at centre-half forward. Mark taken but not paid. Forward umpire was suggesting Mark, and they're all pointing to him. But the field umpire, the umpire in the field of play, disagreed. Contentious, but still a ball up to follow. And the Stone Cats, they'll have to figure out another source of goal. Into the pocket, a 1-on-1 this time. Well swiped away out of bounds.
The non-officiating umpire definitely signalled Mark. And he was the one that had the better look at it, I thought, boys.
No, I'm with you, Vossi. You got to wonder why they'll pay free kicks but not marks the non-officiating umpires. What a dagger it would be if the Stone Cats kick one late.
Boundary throw in, Patullo playing the ruck roll. Corrigan had to lay the tackle on Mullane because he would have had a shot at goal. Casey back to a dangerous spot for the Sharks. Space for LaFontaine, but he let it bounce. McLean attacked him. They're all attacking each other. They're rapid in there. Armitage. And now it's towards Mitch Gents. Gets the Shepherd. Puts it out to the wing. Fist from the side comes. The ball tumbles over the line.
Quarter time right around the corner. Probably only one chance left between these two teams to get a score.
Pressure has certainly intensified. Intensity has lifted. 28.5 minutes into this third quarter. Punch down. Here they go. The Sharks standing to centre-half forward. Owen Hewlett plays it in front of himself. Stretched it towards Siempis. And now Verma. High up in the air. Hewlett repositioned, but it's punched out of bounds.
So now it's unlikely that YCW are going to get another score. They have to hang on. A goal here would make it a point the difference. And what a last quarter it would be.
Ball thrown in. Bonbeach attacking 50. Goes over the back. Gilbert was standing there waiting. Quick kick out of the pack by YCW. It's a foot race. Bo Bailey's leading at the moment. He's up against Matt LaFontaine. The lane. Siren sounds. 3/4 time. Bonbeach 5:8:38. YCW 6:9:45, and we have a game on, boys.
And
my word.
If I'm Peter Susovich, I'm going listening to what Bonbeach have got to say at 3/4 time.
Vossi, I've agreed with you a lot this year. I don't think I've agreed with you more. The master of the peninsula needs to get a hold of the Bonbeach messaging.
We're going to go to a break and we'll be back refreshed for the 4th quarter. Great insight from Paul Goonan there. This is set up to be an absolute cracking last quarter here at Skybus Stadium.
There was only 9 points the margin in the second semi-final at 3/4 time too, boys.
If Bonbeach can get the first one, boys, all of a sudden this crowd is going to go through, like if there was a roof on this stadium, they'd just about take it off, they'll make that much noise.
I wonder what YCW's punishment for me is going to be if they lose. I think Mount Eliza are famous for their skip ins.
I think they're very good friends with Stephen Brattle.
Of course they are.
I'm thinking a Ravens top does.
So I've already got a Lamar jersey deal, so that's okay. But
it looks like they're sponsored by Rhino Bins, Daz. So
great, fantastic.
There's a fair few of them around.
I'll chuck the car up on bricks or something.
We're going to get underway in the 4th quarter. McLean in the ruck for Bonbeach. Barrett on the ground. Goonan. He applies the tackle and we're going to get a stoppage inside the centre circle once again.
We saw in the reserves the clock management that YCW had. It's way too early in the quarter to worry about it, but it'll become a factor.
Bo Bailey, he goes by hand. Wallace, he's knocked off it by Gilbert. Players over this footy. Umpire circles and we're going to get another stoppage. I'll tell you what, it doesn't look too good in the distance.
No, the sun is shining and yet the weather's not looking great at all.
No, it's not. Could it shine down on Bonbeach, who are looking for their first premiership since Michael Voss was a wee little boy. Thrown up, McLean. Gilbert's over it. He's lifted in this second half. Ball comes out. Clearing kick by McLean. Inside forward 50 they go. McDonald, he's outmarked by Hura. So Byron Barry has it now. They're just going with a little bit of slow play to start this quarter. YCW going to be forced to go down the line. Who can stand up? Ball gets over the back. LaFontaine. Gent knocks him off it. He can escape. Go long. He needs a target. It's hit away there by Beringer and we'll get a throw in.
Golden Fist contender with that spoil.
Sorry, I think that might have been Painter, possibly.
Matty LaFontaine there, just got to go off the ground. Take the territory, last quarter. Nothing to conserve yet. Game's still got plenty of time left.
So ball thrown in. Just knocked on by LaFontaine. Who can get the territory going their way? Casey. He goes out looking for Hewlett. Wallace comes over the top and knocks it out. Just as the sun starts to go behind the cloud here, it's starting to get a little bit darker. Looks like it is going to absolutely dump down.
To paraphrase the great Michael Roberts.
So McLean, he forces it forward. Murray. Owen Hewlett couldn't take the mark. Ball comes out. Comes back into the middle of the ground. Gilbert, he just flicks one out. Handball over the top by Jet. Sullivan, great tackle down. There's certainly hot footy here in this last quarter. Goonan, he gets it out. Quick kick goes the way of YCW. It bowls through them. Douglas is running back. Pachulo chases him. He takes it out. And we're going to get a throw in.
We can all take a breath.
So 3 minutes into the last quarter, no change to the three-quarter time score. It's still YCW 6-9-45, Bonbeach 5-8-38. Premier Traditional Home scoreboard as the ball is thrown back into play. First goal absolutely vital in this last quarter. If YCW get it, they've steadied. If Bonbeach get it, well, all of a sudden it's a one-point ball game. Stonecats have got the ball. 65 metres out from the goal. They're attacking the car straight in this last quarter. They need a mark inside 50. Not going to get it. Troutbeck just tried to rush the pack rather than try to go up with the ball. The ball has been kicked off the ground and it's actually been marked in the forward pocket, so the Stonecats will have a shot. And right forward pocket, lights on, barely here at Car Street. It is getting dark.
What a huge kick this is.
So the shot at goal to take place, it is off target and through for a behind. So YCW move up to 6-10, 46. Bonbeach 5-8-38. How much have the Sharks got left in this last quarter? It is a huge deal. Like, I was 9 years old and I reckon Suss would have been just out of the Darva disco back then.
Shane McDonald is Bonbeach's deepest forward too.
And they last one in 1984, of course. Can Shane McDonald pull a quarter out of his hat to try and get him over the line in this last quarter? They desperately need a couple of goals from somewhere. Oh, here's a chance for them. Oh, got tackled. Quick kick towards half forward. The ball is going to be rebounded back for the Stonecats, but only as far as centre wing. Now the ball comes back, will end up in Kyle Hutchinson's hands. It's like a piece of soap. And the umpire says the
below the knees.
And they will go into attack to the Sharks.
And they do. McDonald, the deepest target. Here he is. Lee nearby. McDonald slipped with the footy. Umpire has to adjudicate it. And he does. Is holding the ball.
That's harsh.
Wow. Probably makes up for the contact below the knees, Vossi.
Well, Barry, he's the man on short. Called to play on, so he swiftly eluded Lee. Down to the wing. Drop mark. It seems to be the theme at the moment. And clear for the hand pass for a brief moment. Patullo back into the path of danger for either side. And a ball up at centre wing.
Liam Hewlett's done a good job since going to Patullo.
5.5 minutes into this last quarter. We've got an absolute belter on our hands. An 8-point game. YCW with the lead. And maybe the advantage forward. Butland down to ground. He was the opening goal kicker of the day. And did he catch him high? No.
I'll tell you what, for one thing, it's going to have to be pretty egregious for the umpire to pay deliberate in this last quarter.
Yep, we'll have to be blatantly obvious. Gilbert in the ruck now. Hewitt had a run up. Gilbert's nearby. Gent takes it away. Downwards hand pass. Bailey doesn't worry about keeping it in play.
No such thing as an uncontested possession in this last quarter.
Mitch Gent's been huge in this last half.
Been huge all day.
He's wheeling them over the line potentially.
Another contest. Patullo in the ruck. Hewlett watching on as Gilbert gets the possession and the clearance. McDonald allowed them all to hit the pack with pace, and now he butters up and he takes his opponent high. So he's been on the receiving end of one, and now he gives away one.
First sign of clock management there, waiting for the umpire to tell him to move on.
Hudson to half forward. Well defended by Douglas. Left them vulnerable for a moment. Left the ball, but played it out of bounds.
Just let him play, AJ. Just let him play. A couple of free kicks I haven't agreed with necessarily in this last quarter. Just let the boys play and don't be an influence on the game. We've just got to let them play, because right now this game is on a knife's edge.
Half forward, Goonan. Gilbert has to release it. Instead, he releases Stenning. Through the middle they go. Sullivan's uninhibited. He'll have to arrive on the scene, and he does. Dennis Lane does too. Barry still going as Sullivan. And centre wing, Dylan Robinson has it. Keeps a cool head. Maintained it low. Wallace.
Out the
into
back.
their forward line. Corrigan.
That's a great mark.
Well, we said in the third quarter maybe McLean had gone past him. He still probably has, but that's outstanding.
And the kick wasn't. Gooner now has a second to set it up, and he turns it over. It's a turnover fest at the middle. at the moment.
Pressure.
And another one slipped through the grasp of Lilac, the captain. Robertson off the deck from the back. Douglas in the mix. Ball still to be won. And it finally will be by the Stone Cats. Robertson ducked underneath, and as a result, he's penalised.
Still a game of footy, not kick to kick, but it's what's happening at the moment.
So Bonbeach have to go end to end. 8.5 minutes into this final quarter. They all congregate at the wing, but unmanned Joseph Fisher yet to hit the scoreboard as of yet, but he can be airily present just like that. The kick turned over to Brenton Credlin. And the Stone Cats, they play on. Standing still, backtracking, nervous times. Barry, he usually is calm. And is. Precise for Mullane. Inspecting where exactly to kick. Now takes off. Right down the middle. Another torpedo. Probably wasn't the best decision. Douglas on the other end can cool things down, and Bonbeach have it in defence.
As Douglas, he's going to exit the defensive 50. He goes up looking for Fisher. Couldn't take the mark. Over the top to Casey. Back to Fisher. Now they're out through Murray. They can go in and into attack that. Brilliant. Well read there by Berringer. Mullane, he goes by hand. Wallace. High ball. Waterston from behind.
Well done.
He's been rock solid down in defence today.
Vossi's
Nick Waterston.
Wet Rock. He's going beautifully, Vossi.
Wet Rock, he's been rock solid as he, AJ.
He has.
There it is.
Unforced turnovers everywhere you look at the moments.
Grand final pressure does fickle things.
All right, boundary throw in. YCW into attack. We're nearly halfway through, well, actually not quite halfway through, not even 10 minutes. Almost 10 minutes played in the last quarter, and...
Short quarter, Vossi.
No, well, 10 minutes, there you go. Quarter only goes 20, doesn't it? So
Plus time on.
Plus time on, of course. But we're one goal away from basically just about deciding what the efforts are in this game for both sides. If YCW get it, they're the ones that are probably going to go on and win. If Bonbeach get the next goal, then we have got a grandstand finish well and truly. The ball at centre half back for Bonbeach. They get the ball out. Here's a chance for them. They got Bo Bailey, defensive side of centre. He goes for the kick towards Shane McDonald. And why wouldn't you go to the superstar?
They've got a spare.
Get your cape out, Shane McDonald. He's a superstar, that man. He's trying to drive Bonbeach forward. Gets it to Gilbert. Gilbert back. And now a hand pass and back towards Bo Bailey. Bailey goes to the high kick to centre half forward. No mark taken. Ball on the ground. Byron Barry will sweep in and get the ball away. LaFontaine with a kick down towards Robertson on centre wing. He struggled to move then, Dylan Robertson. He was overtaken there for Bonbeach. Now the kick goes in short. The mark has been taken by Ben McLean, who's 70 metres out here for the Sharks. He goes long. He goes high towards full forward. No mark taken. YCW's turn to defend hard. Still an opportunity here in the Bonbeach attacking 50. And the umpire letting play go on now. The ball will come out and it'll go out Byron Barry's way. He goes out towards half back. Off the hands. Robertson, a hand pass over the top.
Waterstone again.
Waterstone did well just to knock that ball out of trouble and just making sure that that ball stays just down their end of the ground. It's 8 points the margin. We're 12 minutes into the last quarter, and this is a great grand final, Dylan.
Centre wing, 12 minutes through this final quarter. Goonan calls for something, not too sure what. Armitage with a muffled kick to half forward, slipping and sliding, and a whistle. Holding the ball has been paid.
They're just standing up defensively so well, YCW. Remembering they kicked 6 behinds in the opening quarter. They've kicked 6-4 since.
Dylan Robertson happy to backtrack. Down to drop mark. Credlin due to panic potentially. Bailey, some hands in the back, but not to a high effect. So the umpire said play on. Armitage gets the ball rolling. So do YCW with a set of knuckles up the wing. And a kick that was slightly rushed. Hewlett tripped over his own feet. Patullo kept on going. A torpedo that would dribble for eternity. And Dars might reach the boundary line. Osland got to it first. Across goal, which was certainly dangerous and still is. Stone Cats numbers multiply, and for the moment they find safety. It's no safety on the scoreboard. 13 minutes through, they trail it by 8 still.
Nervous bottom time that one, AJ.
Certainly was, Vossi. Inside the forward 50 for the Stone Cats. Rain starting to get heavier. Ball thrown in, Pachulo and Hewlett. Who's going to stand up and write history? Goonan. Quick kick. Just a behind.
Almost would have done it. Yep.
So Corrigan will do the kicking in duties.
Straight down the middle, no, too early.
No, not yet. I like it though, attacking.
He needs to use his distance. He's going to go long, looking for a target. Players fly, Bonbeach players stay down. It's going to go up to Mitch Gent. That's worked out well. They've got Bo Bailey free on this side here. If it can sit for him, he needs to pick it up. They got Calvin Lee as well. He can go over the top. Looking for McDonald, just out of reach. He turns back on it. Stone Cats are favoured here in numbers. Big tackle by Casey. Pack forms. McDonald. He handballs out in the path of Bailey. He's dispossessed and it trickles out and we'll get a throw in.
Last quarter's been awesome, Bo Bailey. His stocks have risen throughout the finals and he's proving why. Yeah, good this.
So it's 50 metres out from the Sharks' goal. They're trailing by 9 points at the moment. Ball comes to the front of the pack. Once again, the umpire's going to call for it. Right in front of the hill here. Certainly got louder and louder as the day's gone on. McDonald, can he run onto it? He can take the mark. He needs to turn and see what's to his advantage. He goes with a chiseler. That's a great kick, Shane McDonald. Wright has the footy. He goes in looking for Trent Dennis-Lane, who's had a bit of a dirty day. Ball comes out.
Well played.
Tackle applied straight away. The umpire's going to call for it.
He had to commit then.
Yeah,
2 on 1.
Yeah, poor Trent Dennis-Lane. He's had a Leon Davis style of day today, but he can still have a big moment.
All it takes is one moment, as you said, Daz, so that's what he'd be hoping for, but they need a goal at times, ticking away. It's up to 16 minutes. There hasn't been a goal scored in this last quarter, so it's like the first quarter. We did not have a goal, and in this last quarter, not a goal, so you'd have to say that we're not going to have a 27 or 28 minute quarter. We're more likely to have maybe a 24 or so minute quarter, you would think. Quick kick, a high kick towards half forward, drops a little bit short. Douglas, was that a free kick? The umpire said no. And I'm going to ball it up, says the umpire. Crowd just in a little bit of a hush period at the moment. The alcohol, I'm sure, is well and truly consumed in their body. But I tell you what, no one knows who's going to win this at the moment.
The fizz is flowing.
And this is what's great. We don't know who's going to win. It's a great contest. The ball is over the line for a boundary throw-in. Half forward flank. What's happened here?
Dylan Robinson just landed on him after the play, I believe.
So
Might have been a touch late.
ball to be thrown back into play. Here's an opportunity, perhaps, for Lee. He got the ball over now. Quick kick forward towards half forward. A mark on 50. Hewlett it is. And that is Owen. So Owen Hewlett, he's 55 out. He's probably a little bit far out. He probably thinks he is too. Can they get a mark at the top of the goal square? The ball comes back. Shane McDonald. Can he put it through? Oh, he misses. Oh, he doesn't. The ball's rushed through for a point anyhow. So 5-9-39 plays 6-11-47. Boy, oh boy, this is a great game.
We're all up in the commentary box.
Deserves the finish of all finishes.
Yeah, Goods grand finals footy.
ICW by 8 points, 17 and a half minutes through this final quarter. And the numbers at the back of the pack are with Bonbeach.
Great hands.
Bailey throws it onto the boot to half forward. Dennis Lane spoils it out. Probably a better result in the end.
Ooh.
What are we getting from the timetable? How long to go, boys?
Not long enough.
5.5 minutes to go in the grand final, so we're looking at about a 24-minute quarter.
5.5 minutes and 2 goals. That's the equation for the Sharks. Not probable, but not impossible. Almost taken high in the tackle, so we'll have another ball up.
Still no goals in the final quarter, but let me tell you, it's been captivating.
Certainly has been. Pressure A1 from either side. Chance beginning to circle around the crowd. And around the ground, Luca Goonan in that pack. Hewlett up in the air. Wallace dished it off. And they bang it down to their half-forward line. Waterstone again.
Been brilliant, your man, Vossi.
Been fantastic, hasn't he? They've got to take a chance here. They've got to...
5 to play. Waterstone poached.
That's the Moz of the year.
Gone.
That is the Moz of the year. Wow.
Had to take the game on.
Risk it to get the biscuit.
He delayed the give, and he shouldn't have, because Matt Troutbeck, he was prepared. He's prepared to put them forward. Patullo hands to it. Corrigan always committing in defence. Now ticking under 5 minutes. 6:11 to 5:9. YCW to your left of screen or dial.
4 minutes left.
Patullo, quick snap out of the pack. For YCW is through. He might have just sealed the silverware.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Clean hands in the contest and was able to kick it. It's just about the sealer. It's been the only goal of the last quarter.
Who else but Kyle Hutchison?
Let me tell you, he's gone to another level. Since Vossi was having a chat to him before the second semi. And Kyle thought to himself, I need to play well for Vossi. He might have just kicked the sealer for you, Vossi.
7:11:53. Bonbeach 5:9:39. I think it's out of their reach now. Casey. Luca Goonan. He's been superb all day for the Stonecats. Umpire's going to call for it.
What a footy club. 2 points off a clean sweep in Division 1. Fantastic.
So ball comes over the back, Gilbert. He runs onto it. He goes by hand. Coming off the ground was Byron Barry. Fisher. Sullivan's fighting hard in there. The umpire's going to call for a stoppage. On the 50-metre line for the Sharks.
Joey Fisher probably unlucky not to get a contact below the knees there. There was one paid earlier. 3 minutes left.
McLean.
It's been enormous.
What can McDonald do? Can Trent Dennis Lane just snag one? Comes out, Corrigan on his left. He drives it long, inside forward 50, but standing under the footy was Henry Berringer. He'll go out wide, finding Hura. He's got Cahill through the middle of the ground. He goes looking for him. Cut off was by Calvin Lee. Ball goes out, and we'll get a throw in.
So 14 minutes, 14 points just to say is the margin. Got about two and a half minutes to go.
Spot on, Mossy.
The Stonecats can taste their first premiership in 5 years. And I say first in 5 years isn't too bad, but when you're the Stonecats, one in 5 years isn't that good. But they're going to win one today. They're going to win two actually today, because they won the seconds and almost won the thirds, as we heard Dad say before. So Calvin Lee gets the ball out. A chance here for the Sharks to get the ball forward, but it's cut off by Lilac. Gets it over towards Blake Mullane. They know they've got this now. They're just going to try and chip it around.
2 minutes
try
left.
And get one more in this game. They're 14 points up with less than 2 minutes to go. They go towards half forward off the
deserves this.
Diampus shot at goal. Win. Stonecats first premiership since 2017. Boy, oh boy, are they a powerful club.
Deserved that. He's had so much unrewarded running today. The Champers, they'll be popping tonight, let me tell you. Fantastic finish. He's had two dribblers already. Neither of them went through. Fantastic. He's gone down to half forward. He's had high fives from everyone bar the crowd at this point.
Bring us home, Dylan.
Great call, Daz, and great call, Vossi, but YCW 8-11-59, Bonbeach 5-9-39. It was a little precarious for them in the third quarter. Bonbeach were as close as 7 points in this fourth quarter, but they've staved off their efforts. They've kicked the last two, and they're a minute away from glory. Bonbeach is still fighting. Good combat at ground level. Gilbert releases Casey in. He releases to half forward. Dropped mark in the air. And down at ground level, bodies are still sprawled out. And it fell right back into their laps for a ball up. Prepare for this eruption around Skybus Stadium.
That third quarter might have just taken it out of him, Dylan.
In the ruck, McLean, Lee, Verma down forward, over the pack, and trickling through for a goal. There's one, a little late.
60 seconds left. 60 seconds left. A consolation prize for Bonbeach. They've been fantastic throughout the second half of 2022. Clinical in their preliminary final performance over the Frankston Bombers. Gave everything they had in that third quarter.
Well, the final minute in the season, and in our season, we thank Premier Traditional Homes and Chisholm Sports Academy. And AJ will drive us home in season 22. It's YCW by 14.
McLean and Barrett in the ruck. Who else but Blake Mullane with a clearance going inside forward 50. LaFontaine can't take the mark. He turns his opponent inside out. Hutchison on the left. Goes to the top of the square. Pachulo takes the mark. He can play on. And there's another goal. Josh Pachulo.
It's almost landed on my driveway. Free footy. My goodness.
He has kicked it to Heatherhill. And the Stone Cats supporters can go nuts in the stands because they are going to win the 2022 Division 1 Mpnfl Grand Final.
The chance going round as well. Local footy, Vossi. It's back in a big way.
The champ comes off. Luca Goonan back on. Umpires got the footy back in the middle. Rucks do battle once again. Bo Bailey comes from the wing. He gets a kick going forward. He was trying to find Verma. Lilac with a footy. He breaks through one. Cahill. He can go with a sweeping handball. Over to Painter, the man that got them into this position in the semi-final. Ball's up to the forward 50. Mullane, Goonan. They're chasing just as hard. They want the footy in their hands when the siren goes. But not too far away.
Yeah, only seconds away.
9-11-65. Bonbeach 6-9-45. So YCW, the premiers of 2022. And when this siren sounds, the eruption around Skybus Stadium will be heard on the peninsula. Troutbeck, he's got the footy, he's taken the mark. He'll go back, and there's the siren.
Crowd are going to have to wait.
Stowe Cats are premiers. In the reserves and the seniors, Paul Goonan has coached them to the flag. In comes Troutbeck. He kicks the goal, and there it is. YCW Premiers season 2022.
What a finish. What a clinical second half. Sorry, what a clinical final quarter it was from YCW. They withstood the charge that Bonbeach threw at them in the third quarter. And we're going to go down straight away to Peter Susovic. Take it away, Sus.
I'm not sure yet. You told me I'll be coaching YC Premiership a little while ago. I think you're mad, and here I am. So means a lot for me. My club, my family's club, and now I'm here. So
3 years of our football, we're finally back at Frankston.
Yeah, it's fabulous, mate. It's the heart and soul of footy, I reckon, and we love it down here. I'd love to see all finals played here. Yeah, geez, that was tight early, wasn't it? And late, and oh, bloody hell, it's done.
We'll take it. And the plans for the rest of the night? That's his department.
We'll all go back to the club. You're more than welcome.
No, congratulations, guys. Cheers.
Oh, it's great to have access to the coach.
I'm going back.
Oh, absolutely.
Old Frankie Gallagher's going to come
Hey, look at him, he's nodding, he knows. No, it's a fantastic achievement by the Stone Cats.
Did you notice, with about a minute to go, Luca Goonan snuck back onto the ground, and I say snuck back onto the ground, like they've had come off the ground, obviously father and son, knowing they've got the flag, having a moment together, then he goes back on to celebrate with his teammates. It's been a great effort by the Stone Cats, and this side is just so strong in every facet. Like they had 7 of their 8 teams, including the netball, make grand finals. I'm not sure how their netball sides ended up, boys, but 2 out of 3 in the football. But it's just a day that they can say, well, we're premiers, and look at the vanquished, and Bonbeach are out there. They've given everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not forget Bonbeach, because they could have been blown away early. You could see that the Stone Cats were well and truly on top around the footy, and probably at half time we thought it was going to be YCW pretty easily.
And I said at half time, first 10 minutes of the third quarter is crucial, and to their credit, they stood up.
Well, absolutely, and it wasn't until late that YCW looked like they're going to run away with it.
Yeah, the margin probably flatters YCW a little bit in the end, just with I think they kicked 2 of the last 3 within the last 4 minutes of the game. Yeah, fantastic Bonbeach. Credit to them. They'll be around the mark again. Some good recruiting.
Let's go around the panel. Let's get Dad's first, your best on ground.
I genuinely need more thinking time. There, you could throw a blanket over 6 of them.
I'll go with mine first, Luca Goonan for mine.
Oh, Dill's cracked it. Just in the back corner. Yeah, what a fitting story.
Have we actually got anyone correct yet?
No, I don't think we've got
so
a single
hopefully
one.
I'll get Luca Goonan correct.
4 different options.
Yeah,
we can't go for 4, can we?
What about you, Dylan?
Oh, all right, I'll go with...
You can go with Goonan.
Byron Barry.
Ooh, interesting.
Vossi.
Won a lot of contests. Well, I'm hoping you're right, Vossi, because that'll make me look like a genius this morning, and I say this with a heavy heart, I think AJ might be right. It was difficult to get out, Vossi, but I got there.
While we're giving credit, like Shane McDonald's second half, especially that third quarter and early part of the last quarter.
Gent too.
He tried to get his side over the line, and I call him the superstar, and he genuinely is a superstar of the competition.
Sorry, Vossi, we're just going to go down to Peter Susovic once again. Sus, have we got you? He's too busy making plans tonight, Sus.
Absolutely, I reckon.
Trying to figure out who's got the best spread. Sus, have we got you?
He is renowned for a pocket dial, so I reckon just hang up on him.
Yeah. Tell you what, I didn't expect the looks to be as incredulous as they were when I said Byron Barry's name. I was going to say Blake Mullane, and then I thought, I'll go left of field, because
this is a man who's not sticking to his principles
I'll stay with Byron Barry.
Didn't lose a contest all day, the veteran.
Exactly right. Up to his case. Who did you select in the end, Des?
I unfortunately agreed with AJ.
Again. See, I just wanted to branch out the options for us.
Well, season 2022 has been run and done, boys.
Yeah, having joined halfway through, pretty silly guy at times, but I really appreciate what RWP have done in the back end of the season, taking me on. No, I appreciate it, boys. Vossi, you're a star. Love the banter, mate. Can't wait to be back in season 2023. AJ, you go all right sometimes, but I love your work. Of course, Crago, Steve, Sus, and all the crew. I appreciate you boys having me on throughout the year. And Dill joining us during the finals, dominating yourself, mate. And the Dolphins will get up tomorrow. Lamar will go no good. And I would expect a message at about 6:30 a.m. with a very happy Dazzling. But no, I appreciate it, guys.
It's been good to have Vossi back on the airwaves.
Absolutely. The Mayor of Mornington himself.
Hopefully this time next year, Vossi, you're sprinting down on the ground and doing the presentations.
Oh, I'd love to be sprinting out there. I'd love to be out there, but yeah, it's been a tough year for me. But look, having been here, I've missed only the one game for the year, and I missed that for a grand final last week for the Peninsula Raiders, but thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be in better health next year.
Yeah, gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the coverage right now, but Dylan, do you want to...
I just wanted to say a quick thank you for taking me on board, boys. Love joining you during the finals. Shout out to all the cameramen as well, behind the scenes, just everyone for making it operate, because there's more to it than the broadcast. All the behind the scenes stuff goes unnoticed as well.
Kyle's been huge.
Yeah, we'd just like to wrap up by going through our thank yous. And of course, thank yous wouldn't start without our incredible sponsors, boys, who've been with us right throughout the year. Of course, our match of the days throughout the year have been brought to you by Battery World of Mornington, our station sponsor, Bendigo Bank, who helps us out enormously throughout each year. We welcome Bridgestone Select on this year for our mark of the day. Jones Lupino Real Estate, of course, who had our Man of the Match awards throughout the year that you boys judged. And a big thanks to Kevin, his lean team at Eliza Meats for providing those marvellous meat trays that...
some of them went missing into Michael Boss's hands.
We certainly thank them for doing that for us. Of course, Tar Barrel, Peninsula Private, who joined us this year, and we thank all our wonderful sponsors. And also to Icon Sports, who not only provided us with lovely gear this year, but have been great supporters as well. To the call team, to Vossi, to AJ, joined us this year. Great to have you guys on board. To Daz, love your work, and you guys are doing some great work on the station as well. Dylan, thank you for joining us for the final series. To our background team, of course, we're providing vision throughout the year as well, and our station manager Brendan Telfer was the man that was on the top of the van or out in the elements during the year and
sunning himself.
I don't think he was sunning himself too much, but braved all weather conditions as well. Heath, of course, who joined us this year and did some great work in the van mostly. He was fairly smart for a young man, got himself positioned fairly well inside the van for most of the games, but certainly provided some camera work for us as well. I did a few roles this year, produced the radio coverage, Michael Voss's catering manager for the whole year.
You're a star, Craig.
How many hot dogs do you reckon you ordered?
Well, it'll be two a game, so it's 18 plus 4, so 22.44.
Yeah.
Probably purchased 44. Made 44 trips to the various canteens around the league this year.
You promised me one drive-by. You've given me about 3 now.
I reckon we'll have new sponsors next year. To be Don Smallwood with the hot dogs and the bacon. We'll have Coca-Cola, and Mars bars will be on.
Yeah, it's been a great year, and of course the background, we wouldn't have our coverage each week if it wasn't for Peter Sasovich, El Presidente, who is probably doing a pocket call. He is out there somewhere.
Absolutely.
And of course to Steve Myers, who's here with us today. Without Steve and Pete setting everything up, we wouldn't be able to bring you our radio and our vision coverage each year. But boys,
Craigo, the amazing watchers and listeners out there that have supported us the whole way through.
just about to say that, Daz, we have a hardcore group of fans, and it's been fantastic to have everybody on board this year, and we thank everybody for listening and watching. We will be back bigger and better than ever in 2023. Congratulations to YCW for winning the Division 1 Grand Final today, 10-11-71 over Bonbeach, 6-9-45. YCW successful in the reserve grade as well today, so a big night at their club, and of course for Mount Eliza, a big night for their boys in the under-19s. We've enjoyed bringing you the Mornington Peninsula Football and Netball League in 2022. Once again, thanks to everybody that's been involved. Thank you to our loyal listeners, and we will see you in 2023.
So easy on the pitch, alright? Yeah, I know. Wait, I want to get a flick of you and do. Yeah, we got to see this on first. Yeah, get in, good! Get around! Get around! Superstar, mate. Superstar. How done? How good? 100% deserved. Get one from here, this guy. Oh, bad guy. I fucking love this place.
Run out fingers. Bang! By Chinny Menu, let's get a photo with the cup. Get a photo with the cup. We need to find a cup.
Great stuff, buddy. Hey, I'm so proud of you guys.
Hey, KP.
So good. Love your
Thank you.
I really
Hey, you chose.
I have no idea what I fucking said to you. I have no idea what I spoke to you about.
You change your shit every year, don't you? What do you do?
Oh, get in the back. Get to the back. Hey, mate, sing the song. Nice haircut, Henry. Who asked you, mate? Hurry up, Lemmy. Hurry up, Lemmy. They're all Give us a meow meow. Meow meow. Get it down, you Chriso. Go get him. What do you think? I hate Henry, sing the song. Hey, Fritz. Show us your haircut, Henry. Fresh cut, Henry. Yeah, Henry. You did it. Where's the hairdresser? Whitey! Oh, Come on.